Hello everyone, and this is Brandy from Venus and Retro Tarot. Thanks so much for joining me in this space. We have a very special pick a card today. This is based on the queens of the tarot and which queen has a message for you. If this is your first time here, welcome. I'm so grateful for you being here, and if you're returning, welcome back. Thanks for bringing your beautiful energy here again. And before we get started, I just want to say thank you so much for helping this channel grow with your likes, your shares, your subscribes. If you haven't done any of that yet, I would greatly appreciate you giving a little kiss or a love tap on that subscribe button, that like button. If you'd like to see more content like this, I put it out weekly. But let's talk about this, okay? So yes, I said that this pick a card is about what queen has a message for you. So why do I have Psychic Witch sitting on my table? So for the purposes of this reading, sometimes I really look at each queen in the court cards as the witches of the tarot. So this is really how you're going to harness your inner witch and what the queen that you select has to say to you at this point in time in your life about what's coming up for you and how they want to help you, right? So before we even get started, I just want to say whether you are identify as woman, a man, as gender non-binary, the term witch is for all of us, and we all as well, just like with Psychic Witch here, have psychic abilities of our own. It's not exclusive to a select few. I believe that we all have the ability to tap into our own unique magic. So why I wanted to pull this book out was because it has a passage in here about what the term witch means. And I did, let me just find my page, right? Have a passage that I wanted to read before we get started, just as a frame of reference for this reading. So it says, but what exactly is witchcraft? Witchcraft is an umbrella term for many different practices, and the definition of a witch may vary from person to person. And the author says, I have come to think of witchcraft as being as unique and diverse as the individual soul of a person, since the way each person relates to and interacts with unseen spiritual forces is going to be unique to them. Witchcraft and psychic ability are not just merely practices or crafts. They are a state of being and an orientation. In other words, it's how we orient ourselves with our environment, both seen and unseen reality. The psychic and the witch are both occultists. The occult means that which is hidden, just as the moon eclipsing the sun hides the sunlight. The occultist studies and interacts with these hidden truths, peering beyond the veil of perception. They understand that there is a metaphysical reality that transcends our ordinary senses of physical reality. So yeah, I just wanted to introduce that as kind of a foundation, because there is no if you're waiting for some sort of special initiation or doing spell work or, to join a coven, to call yourself a witch, that's not required. You can call yourself a witch if you feel called to magic, if that is the way that you orient yourself spiritually to your environment. And then the practice can come later or not at all if you choose. It's really in how you see yourself and how you see the world. And really, there is a part of the term witch that I see that is merely being a revolutionary. There's a lot of political activity that I see in being a witch. Witches are forces for change. Throughout history, they've always been the truth tellers, the ones that have fought for justice in our, in society. So I just wanted to give that foundation, that the term witch is for all of us. So, with that being said, this reading, I've really been working with my spirit team for a while to get it just right. And excuse me, it's going to be very detailed. It's going to get into some really deep stuff. We're going to get into some possible rituals if you feel comfortable with that, that you can do, but lots of messages and wisdom from these queens about the type of magic you might be working with. And then of course, like all of my pick a card readings, this reading is timeless. So right now, a certain queen might be calling to you, but as you progress or, at a different point in your life, you might feel that you want to come back and look at another pile and see what other queen has a message for you for where you're at then. It's never fixed. And we have these energies of all four elements of earth, air, fire, and water represented by the suits of the pentacles, the cups, the wands, and the swords. You know, they're all within us. So each of these queens can have a message for us at differing times of our lives. It just, you know, depends on where we're at. So I just wanted to give that disclaimer that really any pile you pick, you can't go wrong. And the pile that you pick, if you feel like it doesn't apply now, it might be because, you know, it applies at a future date. So don't feel too nervous about that, because I'm not going to tell you which pile is which queen. I'm going to kind of leave that to you in the meditation to pick which pile is really calling to you at this time. But yeah, with that being said, we're going to go ahead and get into picking your piles. So I'm going to go ahead and I will see you there. Okay, loves, so now it is time to pick your piles. So like I said in the intro, each pile has a different queen, and I haven't said which pile has which. So we're going to use our intuition to see which pile calls to us. That way it's a more natural message, and the queen that wants to step forward really is calling out to our intuition. But I have placed crystals on each of these piles, and I'll go over what correspondences they have, so that can help you if you would like to know what the crystals mean. So pile 1 has an emerald on it, and emeralds are the stone of luck, love, and prosperity. And they encourage trust in the universe and trust in oneself. So if that's something that seems like it's calling to you at this point in time in your life, then pile 1 might be your pile. Now pile 2 is honey calcite, and honey calcite amplifies energy. It encourages emotional cleansing and balance. It's also good for intuition and forgiveness. So that could be forgiveness of another person or self-forgiveness. Take what applies, but if that calls to you, then pile 2 might be your pile. Now pile 3 is fluorite, and fluorite encourages revealing of one's purpose. It's known as the genius stone too, and it promotes a sense of inner peace and calm. So if any of those things seem like they are a major theme that comes up for you at this time, then this pile 3 might be your pile. And last but not least, pile 4 has clear quartz, and this is the all-purpose stone. It's the amplifier of any stone that you will pick. So clear quartz balances your energy field. It promotes mental clarity. It also promotes inner peace as well, and it amplifies the energy of other stones, just like I said. So, you know, if you're doing any spell work, clear quartz is a great stone to have with any other stones that you're working with to amplify the energy of your spells. So that might be what's calling to you if you choose pile number 4. All right, so you can take a moment to pause the video, and you can kind of look at the stones, see which one might give you a zip if you run your hand over it. But now what we're going to do is a 30-second meditation, and then what you can do before we do the meditation as well, while the video is paused, is do 3 deep mindful grounding breaths. So breathe in your nose for 4 seconds, hold for 5 to 6 seconds, and exhale for 6 to 7 seconds, and really allow your body to relax, allow your body to root into feeling a sense of groundedness. And that way, when you do the meditation, you can really feel the energy of the cards from each pile that might really be calling to you. So you can take time to pause the video now, but what we're going to go ahead and do is get right into that meditation. So I will see you on the other side with the pile that you picked, okay? See you in a little bit. All right, pile 1, hello and welcome to your reading. So let's look at, first and foremost, which queen is stepping forward with a message for you. Okay, and we have the Queen of Pentacles. All right, so you are going through a time where the Queen of Pentacles, who is the ruler, the witch with the element of earth, is coming forward with a message for you. And the Queen of Pentacles, the way that I read her is she is the epitome of comfort, of seeking comfort. And also there is a lot of witchcraft that has, earthy qualities. So this is really getting in touch with the earth itself. And, she is very, normally in the Rider-Waite-Smith deck, she is gingerly or lovingly looking at the pentacle that she's holding and tending to it. And she's the most empress-like of all of the queens, very comfortable with receiving from the universe and receiving from Mother Earth. So I would say just by seeing the Queen of Pentacles coming forward at a time like this for you is saying that it's time to really get in touch with nature, to get in touch with all things earthy. And that can also be getting in touch with your body. And, if you haven't been feeling grounded lately, to really, get centered inside of your body and get centered into the sensations that you feel. But that is the queen that's stepping forward for you. And you have the emerald. So I'm going to go ahead and move that to the side. And let's see what question the Queen of Pentacles is posing for you. And you got card 35. Let's go ahead. And it says, turn your worry into wonder. Surrender to the experience. What possibilities can you dream into reality? Okay, so that really goes along with what I was saying with the element of earth. Maybe you've been in your head a lot lately with this dream into reality. The Queen of Pentacles is all about bringing things down to earth and making them tangible, making them real. So if you've been really worried about things and in your head a lot lately, this is a time where the Queen of Pentacles is really asking you to surrender to the experiences that are coming your way in order to really harness your inner witch. You really need to get into that earth element and get grounded. But yes, also seeing the possibilities of what could be at this time. But we're going to go ahead and dive further into that. But you know what? Before we go into that, let's look at the numerology of this card. It's card 35, which reduces down to an 8. And 8 corresponds with the Strength card in the Major Arcana, which is all about showing up in your authenticity. So, if you're turning worry into wonder, perhaps are you worried about, the way that you come off to people, or if you really showed yourself, here on earth, in your day-to-day, if you really showed your authentic self, what would people say? And maybe you're dreaming about the ways that you can be your full self and show up, especially if you're trying to embrace the archetype of the witch. And maybe you're worried about the ways that maybe your family, maybe your friends, might think that's really out there, but you really see the possibilities in this for yourself and it feels true and right to you. What ways are those worries blocking, you from living in your authenticity in this reality, which, is really what the Queen of Pentacles is asking for you. She is fully embodied. Look at how satisfied and how beautiful she is. She is not worried about what anybody thinks of her. She looks very relaxed and comfortable. So if you're feeling in that state of worry, it's almost like the Queen of Pentacles is really asking you to surrender that up a little bit to the universe and to the god, to the goddess, whatever deities you work with. And we will get into that as well in this pick a card, what goddess wants to step forward and work with you as well. If you feel so called to do that. But that is the initial question that she's asking. What possibilities can you dream into reality? So, what possibilities about your life right here, that you didn't think were necessarily attainable, can you dream into reality? That's really beautiful. She wants that for you. She wants you to live in your fullness. So this next card represents the major theme coming up in your life that requires you to harness your inner witch. Look how aligned this is. Look at all this green. You got the 9 of Pentacles, and that's really a very aligned card for the Queen of Pentacles. This is really growing something, building something that is all your own, that, is for you, and feeling that sense of satisfaction that comes from your efforts, your work. It's a Pentacles card, so this is the material plane. So this is you really taking those possibilities. It's almost like taking that Ace of Pentacles, and maybe the Queen is offering that up to you at this time in your life, burying that seed. And, you're coming to this place, you'll be working towards this place where you've really tended to something, the possibilities, and, not like worry goes away overnight, right? Those are processes that we work through, but the Queen of Pentacles is here to support you in helping to surrender some of that and work through it, right? There are lots of challenges that come in the early part of the suit of Pentacles that teach us about leaning on support, learning to not hold on to things too tightly, about balance, and patience and diligence, and a sense of mastery over ourselves and over whatever it is that we are trying to build. But this card is a Venusian card as well. It's ruled by Venus in Virgo. And Virgo is a sign that I really think of as the Earth Witch, the epitome of the Earth Witch. So, you could really be looking into earth magic and using herbs, or being a kitchen witch, but building a practice. I see each of these pentacles as like step by step, building a practice that is all your own in this 9, because the 9 of Pentacles is about us. It's not the 10 of Pentacles where we're building a legacy yet, but this is really about a time in your life that you are meant to really come into this Queen of Pentacles, 9 of Pentacles energy, where it's like you're living for yourself, which is why, this card 35, it really does speak to like living in your authenticity and being really fulfilled in the life that you're living. So I love that for you, pile 1. Yeah. So your next tarot card is, what wisdom does this Queen want to impart to you about this time in your life? And the Queens are very wise. So let's see what wisdom that she has. Okay, and you got death and rebirth in the reverse. So the wisdom that this Queen wants to impart, the Queen of Pentacles, is that there might be some resistance to a transformation that you are about to experience. And when we are ready to step into something new and step into a chapter of our lives where it really is about you and what you want, there can be some feelings of guilt, and that may be something, that worry, that surrender that you need to do, of a sense of worry, might really be about what other people think. That's why I was getting that strong feeling of the Strength card. But it's like not holding on too tightly. The Death card really does call us to put things on the fire that no longer serve us in another chapter that's coming, that really does, just like the card that the zodiac sign that rules it, Scorpio, you rise like a phoenix from the ashes, born new and better. And it is a cycle. So it's like you die, you're reborn, and you live, and then it's another cycle of constantly going through this death rebirth death rebirth process, in order to get to your 9 of Pentacles, that you really are starting from a place of like learning about yourself, is what I'm feeling, learning about what it is that you want authentically, what you want to dream into reality, and not necessarily taking on the baggage of others, because the Pentacles suit, it can really be related to family, to friends. It is our day-to-day. It's very, related to our roots and where we come from, right? If you think about the earth and the roots of a tree, like where we plant, where that seed has been planted from our family tree, from where we come from, and the expectations that come along with that. But with this Death card, it's like maybe there's a feeling of the expectations that you don't want to let people down by living in your fullness, in, that, living out loud in what you want. So, there's really you really do need to consider the ways that, you know, you are letting other people kind of call the shots in your life more than you are allowed to have a say. Because the Queen of Pentacles, you know, she is the head of a family. She rules along with the King of Pentacles, you know, but she is the wise counsel. She is the one that people come to, you know, for advice about how to, you know, live here on earth and earthly matters. The King of Pentacles is more like the ruler and the person who builds the legacy. But the Queen of Pentacles, she is, you know, she's water and earth. This card is ruled by Capricorn. And also there is a sense of time that comes with this, like that things get better over time. The Pentacles are the slowest suit in the the minor arcana. So it takes time. And that's where this death and rebirth process comes in, where I was feeling like it's going to take various iterations of, you know, the death process to get closer and closer to that foundational, who am I presence, and I have a right to be here and show up in my full authenticity and not give a damn what other people have to say about it. And that is hard work. Trust me. It's taken me years to get there. I'm about to turn 37. I'm proud of every single year that I have had on this earth, so I don't mind divulging my age, but you know, it gets better every year. Every cycle that you go through brings you closer to those, like, I don't give a fuck, you know, moments in your life where you can really take charge and say, this is me, unapologetically. So I know that was a lot, but, you know, it really felt important. Like, the Queen is saying that to you. Like, it's really important to take ownership of your own life and the ways that you want to show up and live it, because it is your life. It's not for anybody else to live. Yeah. But the next card that we're going to look at is, how does she want to help you? Because she's not only here to impart wisdom, she wants to co-create with you. She wants to help you on your mission of harnessing your inner witch and channeling your inner witch and living authentically. Excuse me. Oh my God. Wasn't I just talking about the Strength card? I said this card, 35, reduces down to an 8. And here we go with the Strength card. You guys, I have not looked at these cards. I pull them and they're already flipped upside down, and I just like stack them in order. I don't see them beforehand, and this is blowing my mind. So exactly, she wants to help you make friends with all parts of you. You see how, you know, I love this Strength card, how there is a split here, but it's not fractured. These two parts of herself, the lion and the person, are, you know, they are part of the whole. There's an infinity loop on this figure's arm, which means that, you know, there is no beginning and no end to the wild one inside of her that can't be tamed. And loving, you know, with this heart, it's a very heart-centered card ruled by Leo, loving all those wild parts and loving, you know, just everything in its fullness. The Strength card is Leo, and Leo is ruled by the sun. So that is your identity. And just like the lion, loving the lamb, the soft parts of yourself as well. It's like just showing up just as you are and saying, this is me. And maybe with the Scorpio energy as well, saying, this is me, take it or leave it, to some people who may not be accepting of this new you. And this could be in many ways coming out. You know, if you've been someone who has had to, or, you know, by choice, no judgment, lived in the closet, if you're, you know, gay, lesbian, trans, you know, if you're poly, any of those identities, you know, if you're in any way have an identity, if you have a disability that you haven't disclosed, or if you're, you know, spiritual, if you are a witchy practitioner and your family, or, you know, won't accept those things about you. If there's any part of yourself that you felt like in your life, in your earthly experience, that you've had to hide, it's like the Queen of Pentacles is kind of throwing you this big coming out in this season of your life, so that you can live fully, live out loud. That's exactly what I was feeling. And then here comes the Strength card. But it's like not just living from that place, but living it and loving it, loving who you are and finding the people who really, what is it that I want to say? Finding the people that vibe with you. Because it really is about finding like your mirrors, the people that match your energy and that accept you in this, you know, energy, in whatever ways that you show up that are authentically you. The people that accept that and love that, even if they don't necessarily agree with everything, that they can be in your world and, you know, like, hey, you know, Susie is my person, or, you know, that, okay, that, you know, that's cool. I don't necessarily live my life this way, but that is her, or that is him, or that is them, and I love them. So like, I love all parts of them and I will take them as they are. Like, that's what the Queen of Pentacles wants for you. So the last tarot card that we have, and then we're going to jump into your oracle cards, and we're going deep, y'all. What advice does she have for you about channeling your inner Queen of Pentacles? Because we all have an inner Queen of Pentacles. It doesn't matter what you identify as, we all have this energy. All right, and the Three of Pentacles is showing up. So yes, lots of earth energy that, just like I was saying, you're meant to find people, you know, that on the earthly plane that, yeah, they don't necessarily even have to be exactly like you, but you find ways to co-create and, you know, work together. This can be in the realm of, you know, this could literally be finding a coven. And, you know, if you are, you know, definitely trying to deepen your spiritual practice or expand your psychic abilities. And, you know, maybe you are clairaudient and another person is clairvoyant, another person is a medium, but it's like you all bring something different to the table, but you all strengthen each other. You know, not everybody has to look the same. And that's just one example. It could be in any kind of realm. It could be in business. It could be in your creative life. It could be just in your everyday, the people that you have fun with and, you know, are your friend group, your social circle. The pentacles aren't limited to anything because it really is what we do in our everyday. But that it can be just a tribe, or, you know, I'm sorry, I don't even mean to appropriate that term, but like your soul family, where it's like everybody is different and unique and, you know, they have their own quirks and their quirky ways, but it's like you all come together, accept each other for who you are. And it's like it creates kind of like a heaven on earth, you know, even if you don't believe in heaven or hell. Like, I don't really believe there's a heaven or hell. Like, heaven and hell is what we make it in the moment, in the time that we're here. But yeah, it's like it does create this, you know, space where it's like what the things that you thought weren't possible, you know, that I could never find this, I could never have this for myself. It's like you're living that in your everyday, and you created that by really harnessing that belief in yourself, by really taking time to put away old ways of thinking, you know, with the death card, or really excavate some of those beliefs that may not have even been yours, you know, that were implanted from, you know, your earliest years, and old, you know, stories. But, you know, it's like in the hangman that comes before death, we really are taking a pause to get a new perspective. That's where we actually do a lot of the death process. And in the death card is where the phoenix rises from the ashes. So where I really see the wisdom that the queen wants to impart to you is that there is a bit of hangman, and then there's a bit of death. Like, there, you know, with all this earth energy. Yeah, oh my God, I'm just recognizing that now, that it's like with this reversal, it's kind of like going back to the hangman type of energy, where there's an element of surrender and sacrifice. It's like, what are you willing to surrender to the universe, to the goddess, to your spirit team, you know, in order to make this transformation, because it will change your life. It'll change your world for the better, where you're really living in your authenticity and you're surrounded by people who accept you for the beautiful reflection of the divine, the beautiful creature that you are. And you don't have to put on any masks. You don't have to fake anything for anybody. And that's really like what we all deserve in life, right? And that's what the Queen of Pentacles wants for you, Pile One. So yeah, with that, let's go ahead and pull some oracle cards and see what else she has to say. But that's really, really beautiful. Okay, and the first thing we have is fairy magic. Respectfully work with the fairies and elementals to achieve your goals. Okay, so yeah, there's an element of reaching your goals in the Nine of Pentacles. So fairy magic might be something that you want to look into. All right, let's pull one more and see what else. I haven't actually done any work with any fairies yet, so I'm interested in what that's like, because I know it's different than working with deities. But you also got air. Okay, work with the element of air to cut through to the core of a situation and see the truth. All right, and even though you have earth energy here, it's like I was saying in the very beginning with this worry, that, yeah, there might be a lot of air energy that you're working with right now. And it might be that worry needs to be transmuted, just like with the death card. But it's like using that air for, to really see the truth, rather than, with this, clouded kind of, you can't see into the situation. Using air to its highest form to really cut through all of the illusions and see things for what they are. And that might make this transition process much more smooth, a lot easier for you. All right, so let's go ahead and grab some more oracle cards. So fairy magic and air magic. So maybe some fairies that are, more airy fairies might be what's calling to you with those two combinations. Okay, and we got here, dawn, the light after the darkness. Okay, so you might really be going through a dark night of the soul with this with this worry, and turning worry into wonder, and going through this death and rebirth process to come out on the other side as more authentically yourself. Yeah, and this is like a message saying that the dawn is coming, the light after the darkness. Scorpio rules the 8th house, and that is where we find, or we try to shine a light on the dark. So that's really beautiful. All right. And look at that. Okay, spider, community and web weaving. Yes, this is a real call to find your people with this 3 of Pentacles, that you will be finding your community. And just like a web, and spiders as well are a sign of intuition. Like, they might seem scary. I definitely think spiders sometimes are, if I see them in the real world, I cringe a little bit. I try not to kill them now because I realize that they are a good sign. But yeah, community and web weaving, it's like as you move through this process, it's like you're adding a little bit to your web and expanding your community little by little, in this death and rebirth process. So that's really beautiful. Yeah, I said that with the 3 of Pentacles, like you're getting closer to finding the people that you vibe with. So wonderful. Okay, now let's see what else we have. Let's grab that. Okay, you got waxing gibbous. It's okay to change the direction. Okay, and that is this death in reverse. It's like kind of trying to hold off a change is what I was feeling, kind of being stuck and not wanting to let go. Waxing gibbous is telling you, like, look at these 2 signs. It's like one way is happy, the other way is happy, but it's okay to change the direction that you're going in, because the Queen of Pentacles is putting you on the path to your ultimate fulfillment. So that's really, really beautiful. Let's see what else we have here. Right. And moonbeam. Look, okay, it's okay to change the direction. You are on the right path. Moonbeam. So really you can't go wrong, because the Queen of Pentacles, she is supporting you. She's supporting every step that you make. And, just trust her and trust the universe. And don't think that you can dream too big. what possibilities can you dream into reality? Just like, if you think you're dreaming too big, dream bigger. Dream bigger is what I hear. All right. Let's get even more oracle cards, see what else I have to say about your inner witch path, your witch path. What does the Queen of Pentacles want to say? Okay, prayers and wishes. So yes, what possibilities can you dream into reality? I'm taking this prayers and wishes card as manifesting. And we're working with earth here, right? So manifesting by doing, it's not just, I know she's dropping a coin into a well here, but really putting some oomph behind what it is that you're doing. So, you know, really, maybe doing some earth rituals into practice that help with letting go and inviting in community, you know, saying some affirmations with this air. And yeah, with prayers and wishes, that definitely does align with air, you know, because air is communication and speaking. So really putting out into the universe what it is that you want and allowing it to be attracted to you. But yeah, your wishes can really come true. And then also backing up those prayers and wishes with this Pentacles energy by going out and making, you know, putting yourself in spaces. And I know we're in a pandemic, so that can be a little bit fraught, but you know, you can even do this online. You can do this outside, socially distanced, but putting yourself in spaces that allow you to be seen, allow you to connect, because prayers and wishes and affirmations can only get us so far, but the Queen of Pentacles is definitely a doer, and that will supercharge whatever it is. Like, our actions can be spells, our words are spells. But you know, just like she's like, this person in this card is looking at two directions here. It's like, find a path and move towards what it is that you're doing. You're on the right path, but you have to choose a path and move on that path, like actually do something. So let's pull another card, see what wants to come out. Oh, there you go. Oh my God, what did I say? Earth magic. Okay, yes, doing some earth magic. Really get in touch with those earthy elements and getting in nature. So yeah, like if you're trying to build community, do something that incorporates nature. So yeah, if you want to do things safely, try to do them outside if you can. I know that's not possible for everyone, but if you can bring elements of earth into your home, even if you can't get outside, yeah, just what ways can you make a practice that really is rooting and grounding is very important. And, you know, even with this cat in this card, if you have pets, pets are also related to the earth. So definitely maybe creating a ritual with your pets can incorporate some earth magic, because animals are very in touch with magic. They're in touch with spirit. I'm a big believer in that. So any ways that you can incorporate that, like if you just work in your kitchen, that's beautiful. If you work outside in the garden, if you love to be close to water, I know that's considered water magic, but you are also out there in the realm of earth. So yeah, that is very, very important for you. So beautiful. Okay, let's get some other self-care, because self-care is also very important. Let's see. Look at that. Breathe in bliss, exhale bullshit. That is related to air, definitely. And then I see this also. Look, she is grounded and rooted. She's meditating. Meditation can look different for very many people. You know, meditation can be a walking meditation. That is definitely inviting in. That is air and earth. If you do a walking meditation, you can use your hands. You can, you know, there's so many ways that you can meditate. But bringing yourself back to the breath as well is very connected with air. and earth as well. If you're rooting yourself, if you're imagining rooting yourself into the earth, you don't even have to be outside. It's more about the visualization and the intention. And exhale bullshit. This I see is bullshit coming from other people. I was really feeling that. Like if it's coming from, you know, people who are throwing negativity and shade at you about things that they don't necessarily agree with, but that are interesting to you, yeah, let that shit, you know, blow it out, and, you know, take their opinions with a grain of salt. And I know that's easier said than done, but, you know, they don't necessarily deserve the amount of space that they're taking up in your head, and, you know, the amount of worry that they end up, you know, injecting into your day-to-day is what I want to say. Okay, let's see what else we have here. Because the Queen of Pentacles wants you to be embodied, just like she is, the epitome of comfort. And if you are stressed, you know, that's not the place that she feels like, you know, you're going to be in this Nine of Pentacles. You're going to be in your strength. Yeah, that it's just going to invite more worry. And, you know, if it's hard to really let go of the ways that, you know, people may throw dirt on your name or, you know, shade you, don't feel shame about that. It's very hard, you know, to let go of what people, you know, might say or think, because we're human. But it's just doing the best you can, and then also knowing you can call on the Queen of Pentacles, that she's there as a support, as that archetype, that it's within you, but as within, so without. Like this energy is in the universe as well. So yeah, if somebody's ever thrown some bullshit at you, like, woosah, and, you know, try to keep it moving, but that doesn't mean it won't stress you out. So I don't want to make it seem like it's overly simple to just let it go. Okay, and there we go again. Release self-doubt, let go of fear. So you don't need to be afraid. It's okay if you are. It's completely human. But you don't have to doubt yourself, because the person that you authentically are, the Queen of Pentacles is saying, there is nothing wrong with you. If people have made you feel like being who you are is bad or wrong, unless you're like a serial killer or a butcher, you know, or like, you know, hurting children, there's nothing wrong with you. You know, if you're just an everyday person who, you know, is living their life, and yeah, you might not be the cishet, status quo, whatever, you know, that looks like, that, you know, people revere and take as like the standard. You can release that self-doubt. Any quirks that you have, they are yours. Any, you know, differences that you have, they're yours for a reason. And, you know, they were given to you by the universe, by, you know, spirit, by your ancestors, and whatever it is that you believe in, for a reason. You're here for a reason. So you can let go, you know, and letting go is a process of the fear of being seen, because I really do feel that, the fear of being seen, and releasing self-doubt about, well, if people see the real me, how will they respond to that? How will they react to that? Because you're wonderful just as you are. And let's see the next cards that we're going to look at. There's some more encouragement. Let's see what themes come up. Yeah, we're doing lots of oracle cards because this is a really, really important message that, you know, it's like getting closer to your magic. A lot of times we need lots of encouragement, lots of advice, and I just want to give you as solid of a foundation as I can, you know. And this deck is actually called Believe in Your Magic. So I'll be linking all of them or listing them below. Look at that. Phoenix. Wasn't I talking about Phoenix rising from the ashes with death and rebirth? Phoenix. How's that for a happily ever after? This is you rising from the ashes, living your own happily ever after. Like, you save yourself, and shake off all those haters. You don't, you know, you don't need anybody to save you. Yes, you can always have people come to your aid, but it's like you're doing this process for you. And this Nine of Pentacles moment, it's going to feel so fulfilling, because it's like, damn, I did the damn thing for myself, and look at what I've built. and you're going to feel that Queen of Pentacles energy, and you're going to feel just how proud she is of you as well. So let's see what goddess wants to step forward for you and aid you at this time. And I think I will pull 2 goddesses. So let me go ahead and put Phoenix card in the middle. See what goddesses want to step forward and be on your path with you at this time, if you so choose. Because all of this is your choice. I can't tell you what to do. Spirit can't tell you what to do, but they want to help and they will step in if you ask. So there we go. Parvati, devotion. And I believe she is an Indian goddess. So yeah, this, you know, this is going to take an element of devotion. Just like I said, the suit of earth is a slow suit. It takes time. It takes a lot of diligence, but the payoff is absolutely worth the work. And I really feel you can call on her to really help you devote yourself to this practice that you're building, or devote yourself to seeing the long game and whatever it is that you're building towards, to living in your authenticity. But yeah, that Parvati wants to be with you on your path. So that is a goddess that you can work with. And I just want to say as well, if there are any goddesses that step forward that aren't necessarily of your culture, I would just recommend that you do some research, do some learning, and show them the proper reverence and respect, especially if, you know, they are not, we should do that anyway, right? But if they're not of your heritage, if they're not of your lineage, that doesn't mean that we can't work with them or that they don't want to work with us, but we should learn about them and, you know, show them the proper respect. So I just wanted to say that as well. Let's see what other goddess wants to step forward for pile 1. Lilith, independence. Okay, yes. Lilith is the dark goddess, and I really see that being connected to this death and rebirth, that she is here to help liberate you. Yeah, so as well, if you're into astrology, look at where Black Moon Lilith is in your chart, and look at the one that is not the oscillating one, or not the one that is the mean, but the oscillating apogee. I believe if you go on astro.com, you put in H13, and that is your true Lilith. Look at where that is in your chart, what sign it's in, what house it's in, any aspects it makes to, especially like, you know, your inner planets or really close aspects to outer planets. But that will give you some information too about the ways that like you can show up and really harness the dark feminine. And like I said, you can be any gender and harness that dark feminine energy. It's available for all of us, but Lilith wants to step forward to help you on your path to this Queen of Pentacles. So that is really, really beautiful. So the last cards I'm going to pull for you are 2 spell cards, 2 rituals, and I will read them to you so that you will, if you want to do these rituals, you'll know what to do and what they are. So let's see what ones want to come out for you. Okay, spells, rituals for pile 1. What wants to come forward? Okay. All right, you got 2 right off the rip. Okay, so the first one is Queen of Torches. And that's interesting because I think of this as like Queen of Wands, but you did get strength. You know, and it says on the bottom, fires of passion and creativity. So Queen of Torches, a sparkling blend of oils for when you need confidence. Okay, yeah, confidence for living in your authenticity, or a reminder that we're all made of stars. Okay, so the ingredients are frankincense tears, benzoin resins, and I'm not sure what those are, so you'll have to look that up. Copal resins and rose petals. So the essential oils are 8 drops of frankincense, 4 drops of ylang ylang, 4 drops dark patchouli, 4 drops of cedarwood, 3 drops of benzoin, 3 drops of orange essential oil, 2 drops of rose essential oil, 2 drops of amber essential oil, and the carrier oil is jojoba oil. So it says blend frankincense, tears, benzoin, and copal in a 1 ounce amber glass bottle. Add rose petals and essential oils. Shake, then fill the bottle with jojoba oil and let rest overnight. And anoint the top of your head and pressure points and chant, I am the Queen of Torches. With my crown of stars, bold radiance shines from within and travels far. So I'm going to hold that right under the camera too, so that if you want to take a screenshot of that you can. All right, let's take a look at the next one. Okay, we have wolf. And it says, which is familiar. So wolves might be something that you see that are a reminder. We also have owls here, and we have spiders, so and a black cat. So these animals could really be things that you see that are like signs in your everyday, but especially the wolf. So wolves represent loyalty and the protection of the pack. Okay, 3 of Pentacles, like I said, finding a group of people that ride for you, that really accept you, and that you feel the same way about. Okay, so a wolf mates for life and understands that with the right pack, you are supported forever. When the wolf appears, examine your inner circle of family and friends. You guys, this shit is creepy. I'm still amazed by how the cards show up. Are you as loyal and available to them as they are to you? On the full moon, gather your closest friends or coven and go to a beach, forest, or backyard after sunset. Make a pact under the glow of the moon. Collectively howl and exchange talismans, tangible reminders that you are not alone. Okay, talismans are earth magic. Make this a yearly tradition, adding new members to the pact while honoring the old, as each generation has something to teach the other. Okay, so yes, finding your pack and creating rituals around, you know, the new people that are coming into your life. And like I said, with this cycle and this web weaving, it's like with each new layer of the web, it's going to be more and more and more people that you're going to find. So this literally might be you joining a coven or joining a social circle, or like if you have heavy 11th house placements, a movement, or, you know, a community that's really focused on something revolutionary is what I see. Yeah, but this was a really beautiful reading, pile 1, and I wish you all the best, but this is all I'm seeing for you. Make sure to leave a comment letting me know what pile you picked and how it resonated for you. I want to thank you for your presence, your time, and your energy. That's truly where the magic happens. And thank you to all the collective guides and angels for these wonderful messages. And a special thank you to the Queen of Pentacles. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share this channel with folks who can benefit from the messages. Please, guys, I would love to see this channel grow. And while you're at it, hit that notification bell so you don't miss any of my future videos. Stay safe, be gentle with yourselves, and I will see you again soon, okay? Bye, pile 1. Hello, pile 2, and welcome to your reading. So this is for the pile that chose the honey calcite. I'm going to go ahead and put that to the side. Now let's look at which queen wants to come forward with a message for you. Which queen is in this pile? We have the Queen of Wands. Okay, that is lovely. So instantly what I'm getting is that the Queen of Wands, if you have chosen this pile intuitively, is really asking you to harness your inner fire, to be bold and daring. And really this card is, you know, she is the ultimate witch is what I think of. Like when I'm not even reading all the queens as witches, she is the witch of the tarot, like the witch of all witches in the tarot. She even has a black cat in her card. Her wand reflects the magician card, you know, the wand that he holds, that they hold. Sorry, I don't mean to gender the cards, but you know, that they hold in the air as they point downward at the ground, signifying as above, so below. this wand is made from the materials of nature, and you know that she's looking directly at you and in a bold, assertive way, kind of challenging you to be bold and be assertive as well. To really use your inner fire. And if your flame has felt kind of like it's been put out lately, the Queen of Wands is here to assist you in this time of your life, to kind of get that fire going. But let's go ahead and look at what question this Queen is posing for you at this time in your life. All right. And it says, forgiveness will set you free. What do you need to forgive yourself for? Okay, and this is card 14. That corresponds with the Temperance card. And also when we reduce it down, it corresponds with the Hierophant as well. You know, and any 5 in the tarot is a challenge. So what challenges have you been through lately, or even in the past, that kind of have maybe made you feel some type of way about yourself that made you feel like you weren't living up to your potential, is what I'm really feeling from this Queen of Wands. Because when we pull the Ace of Wands, it is really like that spark of inspiration, and there's a lot of potential, just like the Fool. So what I'm getting from this forgiveness will set you free, what do you need to forgive yourself for? It's almost like the cycles in your life maybe where you maybe felt like you were wasting your time on something. You know, if we're looking at the correspondence with the Temperance card, Temperance is all about divine timing and, you know, really making lemonade out of lemons. But yeah, it's really asking you, how can you soften your kind of stance towards yourself? And look, there's even a big cat in this card. This figure is dancing. Dancing is very related to our inner fire when we're lit up from the inside. But what is it that you need to forgive yourself for, that maybe like you didn't show up for yourself, or maybe you abandoned yourself, and these things might be plaguing you and kind of putting your fire, your inner fire out? What ways is it dampening your light? Because if you instinctively pulled the Queen of Wands, right now is your time to shine. And she's here to help you with that. And, you know, shine in your complete fullness. It doesn't matter what your meat suit looks like. It doesn't matter where you come from, what socioeconomic background you have, you know, whether you're gay, lesbian, straight, whether, you know, you're a homeowner, whether, you know, any kind of, whatever those labels are. You know, I love that this card, in this particular deck, the Modern Witch Tarot, that the Queen of Wands, she has vitiligo, and she looks proud and bold and daring, and she's not hiding away from anything. She doesn't look like she needs to cover up, you know, with makeup. And that's not saying don't wear makeup if you like makeup, but she's not trying to hide from anyone, you know, who and what she is. And she's like, here I am, you know, looking right at you, daring anyone to challenge her beauty, her authority, what she knows to be her assets. Like it's like the don't give a fuck of the tarot, if I can be so bold, you know. So it's like, what ways am I initially, you know, intuitively getting? What ways do you need to forgive yourself maybe for not living in your fullness and kind of hiding your light? And, you know, if we're thinking about this 14 reducing down to a 5 in the Hierophant, what ways have you maybe conformed to society's standards of what is expected of you? Because the Hierophant really does rule traditions and institutions, things like that, that really want things to be stable and want to maintain the status quo. So it's like, forgiveness will set you free if you felt trapped in those systems. And it's like you're trying to be bold and daring and break away from certain things. That there might be some things that you really need to set down or let go of, and really just consider that at that time, whatever time that might be, you did the best that you could with where you were and what you had. That's a message that's coming through very strongly right now. And that to continually beat yourself up just dampens your inner flame. and you're meant to live in your fullness, in your witchiness, and, you know, do things that are bold and daring and really be free, you know, to dance with life. So that's really important for you, pile 2. So now that we've looked at what Queen is here for you and the question that she has for you about self-forgiveness, let's look at what major theme is coming up for you that's requiring you to harness your inner witch. Okay, and the 10 of Cups. Okay, yeah, so that's kind of the sense that I was getting, is like, this is the time for you to really feel ultimately fulfilled, where maybe in the past you had to make the most of the situations that you were in, and maybe it's like looking back, oh, I had to do certain things to survive that maybe I wasn't proud of, or I was part of certain things, you know, and they didn't let me clarify. I'm getting a little tongue-tied because the messages are coming through really fast. It's like maybe certain institutions or groups that you belong to, they might have aligned with your beliefs at a certain time, but it's like where you are now looking back, you no longer agree with that, or what it is that you believed is another thing that's really coming through, because, you know, I'm getting a lot of this Sagittarian energy of, you know, higher beliefs and morals. You know, Sagittarius is also a fire sign, you know, and when we're looking at temperance, that's ruled by Sagittarius. And then the Hierophant also, you know, when we reduce it down to a 5, is all about those traditional systems. So, you know, I can kind of see maybe, you know, being that you chose this pile, possibly there were more conservative beliefs that you aligned with, or certain Orthodox religions that were more conservative. And, you know, it's kind of like a evolution of those beliefs and a real coming out of, you know, what it is that you truly want. And it really sets you on fire, you know, inside. It really lights you up inside. But it's like looking back on those past cycles and the beliefs that you no longer carry, possibly, that you might feel some sense of shame for the things that you believed, that it's like now you know differently, you know better, and you've matured into more wisdom and understanding. And what I'm seeing is with the Queen of Wands, what she's saying is, you know, don't beat yourself up for that. Definitely just approach yourself with gentleness and grace and softness. The cups are very related to the heart. And, you know, the theme that's coming into your life right now is that you are really coming into a cycle of your life that is the total emotional fulfillment of, you know, where you're going to feel like you found your place, and it makes you feel very happy. Now in the 10 of Cups, there's a rainbow in this card. So it comes after, you know, many storms. And then, you know, rainbows only last for a certain amount of time. You know, they're wonderful, and they make us feel this sense of wonder. But it's like enjoying the good times when they're there, and also understanding the cycles of like, this too shall pass, and there will be difficulties. But in the 10 of Cups, it's like the end and the beginning of a cycle where it's almost bittersweet is what I'm feeling, of, you know, a putting away of, you know, maybe things that you don't resonate with anymore, things that used to be very close to your heart. And, you know, it's not that you don't care about those things anymore or those people anymore. They, you know, they're still tangentially or on the margins parts of your life, but there's something new and better coming in that really lights your fire. And, you know, if cups are all about the heart, it really is something that you love more than you ever thought you could. And this could be, you know, a new actual family. Like, this card does have an element of family, but it could be chosen family. It could be a group, you know, it could be so many things, you know, related to matters of the heart. It could be a relationship, but this is something where it's like, if you're harnessing your inner witch, you're recognizing that, you know, there are parts of yourself that you have to kind of step out of the past, where it feels like you might be between two worlds right now, of like seeing the possibilities in this 10 of Cups, and also feeling you know, chained to these things that you might feel guilty about, or, you know, stuck in a cycle of, you know, it's almost like I'm feeling the devil, you know, with this forgiveness will set you free. It's like you're feeling chained to certain thoughts in the past, you know, and that could be from past relationships, or, you know, different things that you were indoctrinated into, or just, you know, ways that you used to think, or things that, you know, substances that you may have let go of. You know, addiction means different things to different people, you know, and it may not have necessarily been an addiction, but it could be like a healthier perspective on certain things, and learning moderation. There is an element of moderation when we talk about temperance as well, which is present here. So there's so many different ways, yeah, that this is coming forward, but the Queen of Wands is saying, like, don't let the past influence your future, like the guilt about whatever it is in the past that you've experienced or believed or done. You know, if that resonates with you, put out your flame and keep you from what it is that you're meant to really come into this new cycle of emotional fulfillment. So yeah, let's go ahead and look at the next card, which is, what wisdom does the Queen of Wands want to impart to you about this time in your life? Okay, and you got the Six of Swords. So this makes a lot of sense to me. Okay, I was sensing, you know, from the past that there were some really, you know, difficult cycles that you were going through. And the Six of Swords speaks all about a transition. You know, and any six is a give and take as well. But it's like you're making a transition from a period of difficulty. And maybe that's why I was feeling a lot of devil energy. You know, a period of difficulty with certain beliefs or ways of being, and kind of transitioning to a place of more tranquility in your life. And in that, it's going to require a lot of letting go, and a lot of self-forgiveness, and a lot of gentleness and spaciousness, you know, for who you used to be, so that you can make space for who you're becoming. You know, and that is a very big task to undertake. It might sound simple, you know, to just say that, but when I see the Six of Wands, you know, there's somebody steering this boat, and then there's somebody that is being shepherded across this water. And what I see is that at this period of your life, this might be you that's being shepherded. And in the future, with this Ten of Cups, because you're not going to be a solitary figure, where in the past you might have felt very alone, even if you were surrounded by people, that you might end up being a shepherd for other people, because you have come through so much and you've learned so much about yourself, you know, and what really ignites you, what lights you up, what, you know, from this period of really going through difficulty, like a dark night of the soul, and understanding yourself in new ways, and really having to have compassion for where you were, you know, past, present, and future, and where you're going. Because there are always going to be things about ourselves, you know, like, oh, I made a mistake, or, you know, we're always going to fuck up. You know, we're not always going to get it right. And, you know, what I sense is that you might be somebody that is really hard on yourself. Like like, I feel a very punishing kind of energy. And what I want to say is, like, it's okay to have grace for yourself. Have the same amount of grace for yourself as this person would for you, that is helping you across this choppy water into tranquility. Because what I can sense is that if this were you helping somebody else, and they were in the position that you were in, that with this Queen of Wands energy, because we all have Queen of Wands energy, that the fact that she's stepping forward for you right now says that you would have that amount of grace for whoever it is that you were shepherding, that you were helping, that you're a very gracious person, but that you may not lend that same grace to yourself. And it's very important to do that. Yeah, and that's a big message that's coming through right now, is like that it's going to be challenging at times. And, you know, anything that's worthwhile doesn't come easy. But the Ten of Cups is really what your goal is. That's what's coming for you. So it's very important to do that work and set that foundation. And one thing that I see with the Six of Swords as well is that the Queen of Wands wants you to be supported and seek support. And also she's saying that she is a support to you as an archetype. You know, as within, so without. We all have Queen of Wands energy inside of us, but the Queen of Wands is also energy that is available from the universe. And, you know, call on that energy, call on her energy to be a support to you if you're going through a hard time and you feel like you need help to get to the other side. But, you know, also seek safe support within your environment. And I want to stress safe, because it feels like in the past that you might have had the influence of some unsafe people. And that, you know, that is not your fault. I want to make that very clear. But, you know, in this space, it feels like you're very, very fragile, you know, or you are more of a sensitive soul. And that's beautiful. And you want to make sure that you have that level of safety with someone who's going to help you and hold space for you while you do some heart tending and healing. So the next card is how the Queen of Wands herself wants to help you. Let's take a look. Okay, and we got the Two of Wands in reverse. So there are two ways that I can look at this. I can see two things happening here. The Queen of Wands wants to help you. One, with this reversal, I read it as going back to the Ace and really understanding what lights your fire. Because the Ace is a gift from the universe, and it's almost like the Queen is trying to hand you an Ace and say, pile two, take this Ace of Wands and really, you know, find what it is that you're passionate about. If you're feeling a little lost, if you're looking for your thing, if you're looking for, you know, where it is in life that you truly want to be, you know, like I feel like there's a sense of searching in this pile. But the Queen of Wands wants to help you by handing you an Ace. And with this Two of Wands in reverse, it can really, you know, the Two of Wands is about looking out and, you know, making a plan. You know, it's related to the High Priestess because it's a 2 card. And there is an element of, you know, co-creating with your higher self and understanding, you know, the ways that you can co-create what it is that, you know, it's like from your inner fire, what it is that you want to see in the future. You know, there is an element of looking to the future for yourself, but calling on your higher self as well, the wisdom that is you, that's already inside of you, to plan your next steps to get to this Ten of Cups moment, to get past this, you know, this rocky period that you may be in right now, that ultimately leads you to your Ten of Cups. So it's like, you know, getting an Ace, but then also, you know, making sure that you stay connected. So, and that too, any two is really related to a relationship with you and another, but I like to relate it to the higher self, you know, and the High Priestess. But there, and the High Priestess is ruled by the moon, and there is a big moon in this card about forgiveness. So really getting in touch with your emotions is another thing that I'm seeing. That creating from your emotions with this Wands, this fire energy, is really going to help you understand, like dropping into your emotions is going to give you that connection that really helps you understand what it is that you're truly passionate about. It's like, you know, a connection between the heart and your life force energy is what I'm getting very, very strongly for you, pile 2. So the last tarot card that we're going to look at is, what advice does the Queen of Wands have for you about channeling your own inner Queen of Wands? All right, and that is a big invitation, y'all. The Tower. So it's like, don't be afraid to, you know, allow the universe to do its thing. There's a lot that needs to come down and be broken down to bring you back to your foundation. And, you know, that's why I was feeling some stuck energy. Yeah, the Tower is ruled by Mars. And Mars is all about initiation, get up and go. The Queen of Wands is Aries energy. Aries is ruled by the planet Mars. So really the Queen of Wands is giving you this gift. The Tower is, you know, one of those quote unquote scary cards, but it's really not if you're open to the medicine that the universe, and in this instance that the Queen of Wands is really trying to give you, is that you're taking the reins with this Tower, that you're really breaking down some old paradigms. And that is a really big invitation that you're channeling this Queen of Wands by really taking some action, and busting yourself out of the Tower. Because sometimes when we're in our Tower, this does come after the devil. Didn't I say I was feeling devil energy? Where we've been in a situation too long, or we've been in a way of thinking too long, or we've been in a cycle of, you know, a habit for too long, and it has really made us isolated. It's kept us in separation, which is the opposite of where you're going with this Ten of Cups, that you can be the force that ultimately sets your own self free. And in that, like, you can be a Tower, like not a destructive force for change, but a healing, almost. Like if you become this person that's driving the boat, that's steering the boat for other people, it's like you're helping them in their own Tower moments to become their own, you know, inner Queen of Wands, like to channel their queen. That helps them to really break down and shake up some of those old ways of being. And it's like, you're embodying her energy, like you're becoming your very own Queen of Wands. And in that, like, you are a witch, you're a healer. That's really what I see, is like a healing energy is what you are coming into. That's really going to draw people to you with this Ten of Cups. You know, because I see this as being a community, you know, in that community, it's like you really are a helping person. And that's going to look differently for all of you, because this is a general reading, but it's almost like you become the change that you want to see, that you didn't see in your past experiences with, you know, traditional schools of thought and traditional systems. It's like you're breaking out of that and really becoming this driven, action-oriented person, but in a healing way, not in a destructive way, but destructive to things that are harmful to marginalized people and to, you know, people that have traditionally been held down in society, because the Queen of Wands is the ultimate champion. So yeah, that is really, really beautiful, pile two. And now that we have looked at your tarot cards, we're going to go really deep with some oracle cards. Okay, so I hope you have some tea or something warm, you know, a snuggly blanket to kind of settle in, and let's go ahead and see what else the cards have to say about this journey of harnessing your inner witch. Okay, let's see, what messages do we have for pile two? Oh, right, got a couple that wanted to come out. First, we got Spirit, heavenly assistance from your angels and guides. Okay, so that really could be coming from this Six of Swords, like your, and here also where I was saying, you know, getting in touch with your high priestess, but Spirit is, you know, helping to shepherd you through some of these difficult times. And also, if you're experiencing some Tower moments, call on the assistance of your angels, your guides, whatever it is that you believe in, and the Queen of Wands as well, because she is here to help you. So let's see what else comes out for pile two. Let's see what other wisdom. Oh, okay. So I'm just going to take the one that fell out top up. Okay. And we got the elements. Look at this. And you got all the elements here. The elements of fire, air, earth, and water combine to create powerful protective boundaries, spiritual, mental, physical, and emotional. Okay, so yeah, you really have to create some boundaries for yourself. And I can see that as creating a container for some of these feelings, these overwhelming feelings that you might have had that made you feel guilty. You know, boundaries with ourselves are just as important as boundaries with other people. But using these elements, and fire is the first one on this list, and you have pulled the Queen of Wands. So use all of the tools at your disposal to, you know, really create some protective boundaries. You really need that protection, especially going through periods of difficulty and where it's like you're trying to figure out your path and do some internal work of self-forgiveness, and to really step into this Mars energy of stepping into your power is really what I see. And you will be very powerful. But that all starts with really good boundaries and really good protection. Yeah, so that will be very important for you on this journey. Let's go ahead and grab some more oracle cards and see what else comes out for you. What oracle messages do we have for pile 2? Yeah, but you know, I think of fire as one of the most magical elements, you know, and here you go with the Spirit card. Like, I think of fire as life force energy. It's very spiritual, and Spirit is all around you. Spirit is all around you, pile 2. Oh my God, look at this. Okay, the witch, the earthly weaver of the worlds. Okay, so, and look, fire. She's got fire in her hands. This is literally mirroring the Queen of Wands. Like, you are stepping into some big magic, some truly awesome magic, pile 2. Like, you are going to be, like I said with the Queen of Wands, I look at her as the embodiment of the witch. You're going to be a weaver of worlds. You know, but step in, you got to step into your power and really do some protection. Yeah. Okay, that's too many. Just give it 2 more shuffles, see what we got. Okay, midnight, the most magical hour of all. So we were talking about divine timing being an element with this temperance energy with this card 14. So midnight is the magic hour for you guys. This might be the time, you know, an important time to you. You guys might have a little bit of insomnia is something that I'm picking up from this card, or that might be a very important time for you guys to really, you know, make connection with spirit. And maybe that's the time where you'll be feeling called to do some ritual work. Yeah, but there you go with midnight. But that can mean so many things. But I really do feel like, yeah, especially with some of this fraught, worried energy, that midnight right now could be more of a negative kind of vibe, you know, like a staying up in the middle of the night, 9 of Swords kind of energy, but that it really could transform into a place where your magic is very strong once you create some boundaries and really harness your magic and do some practice and do some healing, that it really can transform, you know, some of that energy. If you feel like you have a lot of insomnia or worry that comes to you at night, that won't necessarily be always, that's something that can change for you. Let's go ahead and pull some more oracle cards. Here. What else do we have for pile 2? You know what? Before I pull these, let me see. That's right. I'll pull some more Moon Witch oracle cards, and I will be linking all of the cards that I'm using or listing them, excuse me, in the description box. So If you want to look them up, you can. Let's see. Okay, that's one. Let's see what we have here. Crescent moon, keep moving forward. You got this, okay? Just like I said, you know, with the Six of Swords, this is moving forward to a period of more tranquility. You're moving from, you know, the Six of Swords to your Ten of Cups. But keep moving forward. You got this. Like I said, with some of this energy, I was getting the feeling of feeling stuck in some, you know, in the past, or kind of going over, you know, things that might have happened in the past that you're kind of kicking yourself for. But you're on your path, is what the Queen of Wands is really trying to tell you, and you got this. So, you know, don't doubt your magic. What else do we have for pile 2? Okay, and we got full moon. Harvest the fruits of your hard work. Okay, and like I said, this won't be easy. Like, nothing that's worthwhile usually is an easy path. Excuse me, I'm getting tongue-tied. But at the full moon, it is a harvest, you know, and it's like setting your intentions, planting the seeds. Like I said, with this Two of Wands in reverse, it's almost like the Queen of Wands is handing you an ace. That's what she wants to hand you, is like that spark that will light up this witchy energy in you, that will, you know, set you on the course to becoming your very own queen of your domain, becoming this healing force. But yeah, and something else I see with this harvest the fruits of your hard work is like, don't forget to celebrate the little steps along the way, right? Because this, the path you're on right now is the Ten of Cups. And those are all steps, right? So don't forget the little things. Celebrate the small things too. It will encourage you on your journey. And then at the end, when you get that big harvest, you know, you can feel that full sense of accomplishment. You won't just see the totality. You'll see the steps that you've taken along the way and just how far you've come. Because I can already tell and sense from this spread that you've come a lot farther already than you think you have. You just may not recognize it because you're not used to giving yourself credit for the things that you've done, you know, to benefit yourself, to benefit your life. So celebrate the little things. All right. Let's see what else we have for you, pile 2. Other oracle wisdom do we have? Oh, that's way too many. Let's get oracle advice for pile 2. The Queen of Wands. Let's see. Okay. All right, and we got follow your dreams. So the Ten of Cups, I see that being very related to, you know, the fulfillment of your dreams. So what does that look like for you? You know, with this spark that you're getting, you know, what is it that you can see yourself doing, you know, for the next 5 years, 10 years, 20 years, and keep moving forward. Keep moving forward. You got this, but follow your dreams, because it really won't lead you wrong. Let's see what else we got. Do a couple more shuffles and then I'll just pull. Okay, and we got water magic. All right, so here we are. Yeah, you got the Ten of Cups here. And yeah, even though the Queen of Wands is fire, wasn't I saying something about, yes, with this Two of Wands in reverse, about alchemizing, which really comes in with this Temperance card. But, you know, with the twos being related to the moon and the High Priestess, and, you know, wands being fire, it really is, you know, I really see this as using water magic and doing, you know, fire magic as well, but dropping into your emotions, and also using water as a healing element, using water to cleanse you of some of that stagnant energy that might be still clinging to you from the past as well. If you've ever heard of spiritual baths, or, you know, how salt water can be so healing, and it really does help to wash away old energy. You know, it gets it off of us, and it moves it, you know, off of our energetic body, off of our physical body. We're talking about creating protective, powerful, protective boundaries. Water magic might be something that you're called to, being next to large bodies of water, and then also like taking spiritual baths with essential oils. If you don't want to get that deep into it, or, you know, that your budget doesn't allow for that, like get some Epsom salt, put some regular salt into your bath, you know, just whatever it is that you can to kind of cleanse you of some of that energy that might be clinging onto your auric field, is what I'm really getting from the Queen of Wands. And that will help, you know, if you can get that off of you, to let that fire ignite. It really will alchemize and, you know, help you to, you know, get that fire lit. So let's take a look at some more oracle wisdom. That's really beautiful. Okay, so, and also I'm just realizing that the Queen of Wands, like all the queens are water, and she's fire. So just like I was saying, yeah, water and fire are going to be very important for you. But first we got shark, swim away from this situation. So yeah, if they're, and look, we got crescent moon, keep moving forward. With this, forgiveness will set you free. Yeah, there might have been in the past some people in your life that have really been leashes on your energy, or, you know, just haven't been supportive of you. You know, and put you in situations where you have felt like you really needed somebody, but they weren't there for you. You know, and you felt like you were in like a school of sharks, like swimming, and you're this mermaid, or like you're in a viper pit or something, you know, just feeling very unsafe. This is a message from the Queen of Wands saying, swim away from those people in those situations. That could be this tower moment for you, where you become the tower and, you know, harness that Mars energy and really take your power back. You know, so that's something that I'm really feeling strongly, is that, you know, taking your power back from people like this, that are sharks, you know, but that come to you in with the face of like a gentle, you know, mermaid or fish, you know. So let's see what else. Okay, and you got throne. Your potential is endless. And didn't I say something about that? Like the Ace of Wands, or the Queen of Wands, and the relation like to the Fool, you know, it really is, your potential is endless. There's lots of potential for whatever it is that you're working towards. Just keep moving forward. Follow your dreams and swim away from situations that are like red flags, and keep them away from your energetic field. Like wash that shit off of you if it's clinging to you. So let's get some self-care messages as well. What self-care messages do we have for pile 2 on this journey of harnessing their inner witch? Okay, so follow your dreams, write down your goals, and dream big. Okay, so yeah, you are not meant to live small with this 10 of Cups. Like you're meant to really live large, pile 2. So write down your goals. And I feel like I said this to pile 1 as well. So you may feel called to watch pile 1, that, yeah, you really can't dream big enough. Like if you think that you're dreaming too big, dream bigger. You can't dream big enough. You can write down your goals and really take steps to, you know, make them a reality and co-create with spirit, co-create with the Queen of Wands. And we're going to look at what goddesses, if you feel so called to, want to step forward and work with you. Oh, got one that flew away. Okay, let's see what we got here. All right, and create your own happiness. Okay, and one thing I see with this is really creating happiness that is for you, that really doesn't rely on what anybody else's definition of happiness is, if that makes sense. That really it's going to be up to you to define. You know, if you haven't in the past, if you felt like, you know, you've lived for other people and their expectations, that now is a period in your life where, especially with this Ten of Cups, it's like you're creating your own happiness. There's another moon in this card. The moon is our emotions, our instinctive nature that you can create from your own happiness as well. You know, what it is that really lights you up with this Queen of Wands energy. So yeah, create what it is that you want to see, and that makes you truly light up from the inside. So let's go ahead now, and we are going to look at what goddesses want to step forward and work with you. And I'm going to say this to every single pile. If a goddess comes out that is not of your background, is not of your culture, that doesn't mean that you can't necessarily work with them. I would just encourage you to do a little background, a little research on them out of a sign of respect for the culture and the goddess herself. You know, especially if you are of the dominant culture. If you are, you know, a white person, or, you know, that especially, and these are more marginalized cultures that these goddesses come from, that it really is important to do that. But let's go ahead and see what goddesses want to step forward. I'm going to pull 2 goddess cards. What goddesses want to step forward for pile 2. Okay. All right, so we have Bridget. Oh my goodness, creative spark. That is so perfect for the Queen of Wands. Okay, so really harnessing your fire. Yes, and creating your own happiness, your creative spark, what lights you up. And then here we have, you actually have 3 cards that came out. So we have Nike, ambition, and that goes along with keep moving forward. You got this, and harvest the fruits of your hard work. So you're a very ambitious person. And if anybody has ever made you feel bad for having ambitions, having goals, having drive, or what it is that you're ambitious about, don't let that be their problem, is what I'm hearing. Because your dreams are your dreams, and it's, you know, your life purpose to create your happiness and what makes you happy. So yeah, that's very important. So Nike is stepping forward to help you on your path as well. And then we have, I'm not sure if this is Metis or Metis, but I think it's Metis, and wisdom. Okay, so that's something else that, you know, with this forgiveness, it's the wisdom to know when to let go is something that I'm really feeling. The wisdom to really, and look, you got 2 cards that are 35 here. The wisdom really to understand where you're going and where you've come from, and then understand in the present where you are. But that it's a journey, and you are coming into more and more wisdom on this journey and through the cycles. And these 3 goddesses are here to support you. So I would do a little bit of research and look them all up and see, you know, what ways you can work with them if you feel so called to do that. But yeah, now we're going to look at some actual rituals that you can do, and we're going to see what comes out, what rituals that Spirit is recommending for you with this spell deck. All right, and the first one you got is Wheel of the Year, and this says language of magic. So here we go. Yes, Wheel of the Year, as the seasons change, so do we. Yes, and I said something about moving with the cycles, like you are letting go of some things to step into something new. Witches follow the wisdom of nature to inform their magical rituals as a way to live with purpose. The 8 Sabbats, or holidays, celebrate the particular lessons and magical opportunities that occur within each season. These days are Samhain, Yule, Imbolc, Ostara, Beltane, Midsummer, I hope I'm saying this correctly, Lunacid, and Mabon. As of now, where are we in the wheel? And as of this recording, this reading is timeless, but Ostara has just happened, the spring equinox. What does this time of year signify for you, and what obstacles or opportunities are emerging? Look deeper into the meaning of whatever season we are in to help guide and navigate your magical rites. Okay, and I see this in general as is Spirit and the Queen of Wands calling you to really create a magical practice around the Sabbats. Yeah, so that, because you pulled the Witch card, the Earthly Weaver of the Worlds, and you have lots of different elements represented here. Okay, and the other card that we got for you is Earth, which is also a language of magic card. And it says, an invocation for Earth to be used when calling in the elements during a circle or connecting to our roots when out in nature. Okay, so this is calling in the elements, and you got a card about the elements, working with all 4. So it says, face the north direction of your circle. Use a compass for assistance. Hold up your athame and recite the following. And you don't have to have an athame. You can use whatever, substitute something if, you don't have the tools. We are the tool, as witches. So just want to clarify that. Hold up your athame and recite the following. Merry meet north, element of earth. We feel your presence beneath our feet and ask you for solid grounding in our rites. So mote it be. When closing a circle, Merry part north, we thank you for guiding, teaching, and illuminating our rites. So I'm going to go ahead and hold that up under the camera. And if you want to take a screenshot, I'm just going to hold it so that you can take a screenshot if you'd like. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and put that down. But this looks great for you guys. Like your potential really is endless, and I'm excited to see, if you come back to this reading and leave a comment. What is the journey that you're on? In what ways, are you looking to, move forward towards following your dreams? Because the Queen of Wands really is here to support you, Pile 2. And I wish nothing but the best for you on this journey. So that's all I'm seeing for you, Pile 2. Make sure to leave a comment letting me know what pile you picked and how it resonated for you. I want to thank you for your presence, your time, and your energy. I also really want to thank the presence of the Queen of Wands for coming forward with this beautiful reading. Thank you to the collective guides and angels for these wonderful messages as well. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share this channel with folks who could benefit from the messages. And while you're at it, hit the notification bell so you don't miss any of my future videos. Stay safe, be gentle with yourselves, and I will see you again soon. Okay, bye, Pile 2. Hello, Pile 3, and welcome to your reading. So this is for the pile that picked the fluorite crystal. I'm just going to go ahead and set that to the side. So let's see what queen is stepping forward and has a message for you. All right, and we have the Queen of Cups. Beautiful. Okay, so the Queen of Cups is the ultimate space holder of all the queens in the tarot. She is the, I hate to even venture and say empath, but she can sense into and feel what other people feel. And, it really makes her someone who is a wise counsel like none other, because it's not only can she understand on a, what is it I'm trying to say? So not only can she understand on a logical level, on an analytical level, what someone's going through, she can actually feel what a person is experiencing as if she were stepping into their shoes. And that is a very powerful skill and a powerful ability to have. as a witch. And this queen is, all queens are, represent wisdom in the tarot. So she's very wise when it comes to emotional intelligence. So the fact that the Queen of Cups is stepping forward for you at this time, it really says to me that you might be going through some either emotional turbulence and really need someone to hold space for that, or you might be going through a period where you're really leveling up emotionally and understanding yourself and some of the deepest parts of yourself. So it could be one, the other, or both. You could be learning about yourself through some really emotionally turbulent times, but, you know, understanding yourself in new ways is something that I'm really getting from this Queen's presence here is, you know, that you're really not afraid to go deep into your emotions. And this Queen is here supporting that, rather than run away from things that might seem difficult to look at or to feel. Yeah, that's really the sense that I'm getting from this Queen of Cups. But let's go ahead and look at a question that the Queen of Cups is posing to you. Okay, and we have card 44, which reduces down to an 8. Come together, we need each other. Where have you been separating yourself or pushing against others and the world? Okay, so yeah, this reduces down to an 8, which also corresponds with the Strength card. There is another pile that also, I won't say which one, had a card that reduced down to 8 as well. But yeah, there might have been a period, or you might be going through this now, where you might be feeling or have felt kind of like separate from the whole. And it might have come from some really turbulent emotions. And you might have felt like you had to go it alone and deal with it yourself. But the Queen of Cups, you know, is an emotional support. And there might be a need for you to reach out for that support that she can provide at this time, maybe through a Queen of Cups-like figure. But the Queen of Cups resides in all of us as well. But it's, you know, the Queen of Cups is ruled by the sign of Cancer. And Cancer is very related to the home and family and, you know, our roots and connection. So, you know, it really speaks to the fact that this says we need each other, because it's like, where have you been separating yourself or pushing against others, you know, instead of fostering connection as a way to maybe not be seen? That's something that I'm getting, is that maybe you don't want others to see how you feel. Maybe that would make you feel too vulnerable. But the Queen of Cups is not afraid to be vulnerable. And maybe that's something that you're learning at this time, or the Queen of Cups is trying to kind of help you with, to soften yourself. You know, she is double water. All the queens are water. But then also with the cups, it's also the suit that deals with the element of water. So she is water of water. That is really digging deep into the emotional body, the emotional self. And that's not in a way that separates you from other people, but doing it in such a way that you realize how connected we all are, how interconnected we all are in this crazy world, you know, and, you know, excuse me for saying crazy, I don't like using that word, but this wild world that we live in. You know, think about a body of water, all of those tiny molecules, they don't look separated at all. You know, when you hold a glass of water and you look at the water together, like all of those tiny molecules together, there's no way to separate out one molecule from the other. They are interconnected, interwoven. And that's really what I'm seeing from this, is that, you know, you're the emotional piece that is missing from the world. Is like, if you've tried to take yourself out of, you know, letting yourself be seen in your emotional fullness, that you're kind of pushing against what the universe is asking you to do, which is create more emotional connections, deeper emotional connections, that allow you to see and be seen. The more we kind of practice and use that muscle, we see into others deeply. And And then we see into ourselves deeply as well. Like we see what is reflected back to us through others. But connection is so, so, so important. And that's what the Queen of Cups is kind of here to tell you right now. But let's go ahead and look at more of your tarot cards and see. The first card is, what major theme is coming up in your life that requires you to harness your inner witch? Okay, and we got the Three of Swords in reverse. So yeah, this is a period of deep healing for you, and deep heart healing, because in the Three of Swords, normally in the traditional tarot, there is a heart that has three swords going through it. But here, it's like a vortex of water. It's very interesting that actually how that lines up. And it's like with this Three of Swords in reverse, excuse me, it's like I'm trying to really convey what Spirit is giving me right now. It's like this vortex, you know, is you kind of looking into the depths of your emotions in order to kind of soften around heartbreak that you've had in the past that might have put you deeper into your crab shell. You know, if I can use that terminology with the Queen of Cups being ruled by the sign of Cancer. You know, Cancer, if you look at a crab, the inner body of a crab is very, very soft, but that hard outer shell, the more heartbreak that we've been through, the more, you know, loss that we've been through, you know, fights with friends, words, you know, because swords have to deal with communication that have really stung us and made us cry or made us feel very wounded, can harden that shell and separate us from others, make us feel like we want to be separated, rather than keep us in connection with healthier, you know, supports. And, you know, now that we're talking about water, you know, the earth here is represented on this card. And the earth is made up of mostly what? Water. What are our bodies made up mostly of? Water. Like, water is so essential, and water is related to our emotions. It's like how important emotional connection is, and, you know, emotional connection to yourself as well. But not cutting yourself off from that is really a lifeline for you right now. So it's like the major theme that's coming up for you is really letting those swords, you know, that have pierced you over your lifetime, you know, letting them fall out by doing some healing, you know, around your heart and mind, really making those connections between the things that you've experienced, the words that you've heard that have cut you really deeply, you know, what ways that you've experienced heartbreak, and, you know, the memories and the ways that they have affected you going into the future, you know, and, you know, living your life day to day. Like, what ways are you coming out of that and kind of letting go? And it's a process, right? It doesn't happen overnight, but this is the theme that's coming up for you, is like being able to get back to a place where you don't feel so disconnected or wounded, that you feel much more healed and whole and connected to your emotional self. So let's go ahead and look at your next card, which is, what wisdom does the Queen of Cups want to impart to you about this time in your life? And we got the Five of Wands. Yeah, so you've experienced a lot of conflict, and there might still be some conflict to come. That's something that I'm getting from this, but, you know, something else that I get from any five in the tarot is a challenge. And this might be something that feels challenging to you to let go of some things from the past, or to let go of, you know, what you've become familiar with. And that might be that you're used to being by yourself because that feels safe. So that is the wisdom that the Queen of Wands wants to say, is that, you know, to challenge some of those things that you might believe about yourself. And, you know, the wands have to deal with, you know, our inner fire, but it can also deal with the ego. And ego isn't a good or a bad thing. You know, ego is our self, right? And the sun is, you know, are what we, in like if we're looking at it in astrological terms, is the ego. It's how we identify. But it's like challenging those beliefs about yourself and challenging your beliefs about other people and how you can deal with conflict is something else that I'm seeing. Because if you have a, you know, a past of historically like not being able to move forward in relationships when there's been conflict, it's kind of like, you know, it has to end, or, you know, you feel like you can't really deal with the situation. If conflict comes up, it's like really uncomfortable for you. It's not even like it has to end nasty. It's just like the emotional aspect of it is like, how do I deal with this person now that we've had conflict? It's just easier to cut it off, you know, is the sense that I'm getting, you know, more as a self-protective measure, and then as a way to kind of protect your heart, that the Queen of Wands is asking you to kind of, you know, step into the wisdom of kind of leveling up that emotional intelligence of, you know, that we can disagree, and that doesn't mean that it has to be the end of the world in our relationships, and that, you know, we can have fights and disagreements, and as long as it's civil, you know, nobody's, you know, being violent or, you know, hurtful or, you know, hitting below the belt, things like that, you know, that we can come together at the end of the day or find ways to kind of have creative solutions, right? The wands are also about creativity. So I see this as more of a creative approach to conflict and dealing with conflict, that, you know, there are better ways to maybe work on that if it's been challenging in the past. But, you know, that you are going through a period where, like I was saying in the beginning, like a leveling up of your emotional intelligence. Like it doesn't have to be the end of, you know, a relationship anytime that you have an argument or a disagreement. And also, you know, on the flip side of that, if, you know, that's something that you've been on the receiving end of, and it's been a source of heartbreak for you, that, you know, if other people have dealt with you that way, that, you know, you also have the strength and the emotional wisdom to deal with those challenges too. And that it doesn't diminish you. It doesn't make you any less of a person. So that's really, really important for you to understand, pile 3. So the next card that we're going to look at is how the Queen of Cups wants to help you right now. And look, you got the 3 of Pentacles. So that's all about coming together with people, you know, who aren't necessarily similar to us. I really have a feeling that if this pile intuitively called to you, that you might have had an inkling or a feeling of being called to pile 1. And I only say that because there are some similar themes here. But the 3 of Pentacles is how she wants to help you. She wants to connect you, right? It says, come together. We need each other. The 3 of Pentacles is all about what we do in the here and now and who we spend our time with. That could be in work, that could be in platonic and friend relationships, that could be in romantic relationships. I don't care that it's pentacles and not cups. You know, these are all, the 3 of Pentacles really speaks to a coming together of different people, and them all bringing something very different to the table, but it fortifies whatever it is that they are doing or building, or the associations and connections that they make. So it's like, see, where have you been separating yourself or pushing against others in the world? But it's like, by keeping yourself in separation, it's like almost bucking the universe is what the Queen of Wands, excuse me, I just said Queen of Wands, the Queen of Cups is saying. And she wants to help you by, you know, co-creating with other people that, you know, don't necessarily have to have everything in agreement with you, right? That's why the 5 of Wands is here. It could still be, you know, a bit of a challenge, but challenge is okay. That, you know, you don't have to agree on everything, but you can still work together and have friendships, you know, as long as there is a core understanding and respect on the basic things, right? I'm not telling you to get in relationships with people who completely disrespect or overlook or dismiss you. This is just saying that, you know, being in relationships, you know, there may be challenges and you won't always agree on everything, but the Queen of Cups really wants to help you make emotional connections and, you know, connections with people where you can be your authentic self, but that you don't have to be carbon copies of each other, you know, because the universe is vast and we are all unique, and that you should be able to shine in your uniqueness, and the people that you're in relationship with should be able to do the same. But most importantly, the Queen of Cups is here to bolster you and support you on that emotional journey of really finding your place and finding the people that, you know, you're meant to come together with and work together with. So the last card, tarot card that we have for you is, what advice does she have for you about channeling your own inner Queen of Cups? All right, and we have the Devil. Okay, and the Devil really speaks to, again, themes of isolation. The card pairing with the Devil is the Lovers. So what advice does she have for you is that, you know, the two people that are in the Devil card, they each have, especially, let's look at the imagery in this card. The Devil has strings that are loosely around these two people's necks, and these people reflect the Lovers that are in card 6 in the major arcana, but they're looking away from each other. That's a symbol of separation. They're not working together, mirroring each other and co-creating with each other, a way to get out of a situation that feels isolating, that feels bad, that feels really stuck, you know. And what the Queen of Cups is saying is that in separation, in not being in relationships that mirror back to you, parts of yourself, you know, that are beautiful, and, you know, being in connection, you will stay chained and thinking that you're alone, even if someone is standing right next to you. You could be in a room full of people and feel just as alone as if you were sitting by yourself. And that's really the advice that she has for you, is to turn around and see the people who really want to be in connection with you and slip those chains off. All you have to do is take the chain off and walk away, and the Devil has no power over you. The Devil thrives on fear. The Devil thrives on lies, and the lies that they tell you about yourself. And that is something that, you know, we all can grapple with at different points in our life, but it's like, that will definitely keep you in separation, is different stories, you know, that you have been told about yourself, or the things that you say about yourself that aren't necessarily true, but that feel true to you, right? We're talking about cups. Cups are our emotions. Like, you know, you feel them so deeply that, you know, it feels true, but other people don't see you that way. And if you turned around and allowed them to reflect back to you what is actually the truth of who you are, you could easily get out of this Devil, you know, these Devil energy moments. But the Devil, it can be a, you know, a liberator or an oppressor. And that's the Queen of Cups message for you, is that really the choice is yours. Just like in the Lovers card, it used to be called choice. There's an element of choice in the Devil too. It's, you know, a choice of whether or not you want to believe the lies that the Devil is telling you, or if you really want to see, you know, yourself as you truly are, which is, you know, not what the reflection that the Devil, that distorted mirror that the Devil holds up to you. Those are lies. And that in fostering healthy connections with people that make you feel, you know, emotionally safe and secure, you'll be able to recognize this energy when it comes towards you. And yeah, that you will level up even more emotionally. Like, you'll increase in your emotional maturity. The Devil is also ruled by Saturn, and Saturn matures and gets better with time. So better with age, and it does take time to really come into that level of emotional maturity. But there's also an element of needing to be patient with yourself, and be gentle with yourself, because the Queen of Cups is a very gentle soul, a gentle presence. Yeah, so that is the tarot portion. And now we're going to go even deeper in and get really detailed with some oracle cards. So let's go ahead and get started. Let's see what oracle cards want to come out. What other messages does the Queen of Cups have for pile 3? Okay. All right, you got power symbol. Cleanse, purify, and protect the physical body. Okay, and you know, the Devil card, it has correspondences to, did I say Saturn? It's ruled by Capricorn, and Capricorn is ruled by Saturn. So I'm sorry, excuse me if I made that mistake, but Capricorn is an earth sign, and it also opposes Cancer, which is the Queen of Cups. So really, you know, earth signs do deal with the physical, but in order to really have a good sense of our emotional inner landscape, and you know, clear out the devil energy that can be very confusing, it can be really helpful to do a cleansing, a purifying ritual on the physical body that kind of gets that negative energy off of you. So that might be something that you want to do, and that is stepping forward to give you that advice. So let's see what else we have here. All right, Dragonfly, you bring light to this world, okay? So yeah, who are you to hide your light from other people when the world needs it? The world needs your light, pile 3. All right, and let's see what else you got. Prosperity, a prosperous business with riches and success, okay? And that might be this 3 of Pentacles, where you work in tandem with a group and different people, and it really does bring you a sense of success. And maybe you could do it on your own, right? But we need each other, and in working together, you could create something way better than you could by yourself. You're meant to co-create with other people and with spirit. So that's really beautiful. All right, let's go ahead and grab some more oracle cards and see what else we have for you, pile 3. Okay, we got Owl, wise seeing, wise action. Okay, so that's wise seeing of yourself, like clear seeing, getting an element of clairvoyance here, also seeing with your emotions, and then taking action from a place of emotional intelligence is something that I am feeling from this. And owls might be something that come to you. An animal might be a power animal for you, or a sign that you see in your waking life, in your dream space, right? Because cups have to do with the dream space as well, where, you know, they may have a message for you. Pay attention to what you're thinking about or what you're feeling when you see an owl, you know, that imagery, if it comes to you. Okay, let's see what else. Okay, joy, rejoicing in the present. Okay, and look how similar this, you know, figure is with their arms up, and just how this person is dancing with life, dancing with the universe, dancing with earth. But yeah, you're meant to be joyful, where before this 3 of Swords was upright, where you were locked in this devil energy. And, you know, 5 of Wands is challenging as well. But it's like you're moving into a period of really reclaiming your joy with the Queen of Cups, and she really wants to help you with that. So it's very, very beautiful. Let's see what else we have here for you. Okay. What other messages do we have for pile 3? Okay. Oh my goodness. Okay. You got mirror, mirror. Didn't I say something about letting others be a mirror? Okay, the beauty you see in me is a reflection of you. So yes, that is all about turning your head with this devil card, and seeing outside of yourself like what it is that you notice, the beauty that you notice outside of yourself is a reflection of the beauty that is within you. That is the natural divine beauty within you. That is so beautiful. All right, let's see, what else do we have for pile 3? It's so aligned. Okay. And we got movement. Inspiration is drawn to motion. Okay, so what ways, just like with this joy card, where she's in movement, this 5 of Wands can also signify, you know, some friction and tension in the body. But what ways can you move your body and move the emotions that you feel, especially the difficult ones, through your body? And how can it inspire more joy and experiencing more joy in the moment, in the present? But movement is something that's really being highlighted for you by the Queen of Cups. So that's something, if you're not doing any body work with the physical body, that movement can also be something that's very cleansing for you. Right, let's see what other messages we have for you. Pile 3. Other wisdom about harnessing your inner witch. Okay. Okay, make a move. That's more movement, okay? Really need to get into that body, get into the emotional body, but the physical body as well. And that's really going to help you. And look at these two people. Like, they're back to back, but it almost looks like their movements are mirroring each other, you know, and also they're in water. So there is an element of cleansing, but really letting movement help them move through their emotions, you know, just like the Queen of Cups. So that's really beautiful. Definitely get out of your head, you know, if you're in this 3 of Swords or Devil, and into your body. Let's see what else we have for you. Harnessing your inner witch. Ground and center. Okay, very important. Get grounded. Didn't I say something about that with the physical body? And here you've got the presence of Capricorn energy, which opposes Cancer energy. So if your emotions are feeling very turbulent, very important to ground and center yourself. All right. Okay. Now let's look at some more. Believing in your magic. Let's see. Cards just want to fly everywhere. And just 2 cards for pile 3. Believe in your magic. Okay, feast. Slow down and celebrate yourself. Okay, so it's not a race. Take your time and, you know, celebrate the little things, the little steps that you've made. And I know I said that to another pile, but yeah, celebrate yourself and how far you've come. And then, you know, that will help you on your journey if you feel like you have a lot longer and a lot farther to go. You know, celebrate yourself. And also that really means dropping into your emotions. You know, celebration is really connected to, you know, the element of water and fire, I believe. But it's, you know, feasting is nourishing our emotional body is really what I'm feeling. And really dropping into your emotions. And, you know, to be able to celebrate yourself is really to be emotionally naked and vulnerable with yourself. This is very important for you, pile 3. All right, and you got spaceship. Don't be afraid to sing. Okay, so use your voice. Don't be afraid to sing, to speak up with this joy and rejoicing. You know, definitely get into your body and, you know, sing literally, or, you know, just work out that throat chakra. Singing might be something that's very grounding and centering for you. Those are all messages I'm getting. So just take what applies. And now we're going to take a look at some self-care. Let's see, what self-care advice do we have for pile 3? Whoa. Okay. Okay, turn criticism into kindness. And this could be self-criticism. It could be where we might judge others harshly. It could be a little bit of both. It could be one or the other. But look at ways that you can kind of reframe those critical thoughts, if they're about yourself or about others, into something that's a little more kind and soft, and makes more emotional space for, you know, less perfectionism is what I'm seeing. Okay, and you guys got actually 3 from this deck. Let's see, unleash your inner wild child, get up and dance. Okay, so you got don't be afraid to sing, get up and dance, joy, rejoicing in the present. You got make a move, and they look like they are also in kind of ritual dance with each other. So this really does speak to you guys need to have some fun, is what I'm really feeling. Things might have been serious for quite a while for you guys, but really learning how to get in touch with your joy. And there we go. Allow unlimited abundance. Very good. Very, very beautiful. Okay. Let's see. Kind of running out of space. Well, we'll make them all fit. Okay, so the next cards that I'm going to pull are goddesses that want to step forward and be present with you and help you on this journey. And of course, the Queen of Cups is here for you. But one thing I want to mention before I pull any cards is that if any queens come out that are not of your culture, please make sure, that doesn't mean that you can't work with them, but make sure that you do a little bit of research into their background, you know, as a sign of respect to the culture, as a sign of respect to the goddess herself, that's stepping forward to really walk with you on your journey. And that goes especially if you are of the dominant culture, and the goddess that's stepping forward is from a marginalized or colonized culture. But just wanted to say that as kind of a heads up, that it's good to do that anyway, to research the deity that you're working with, but definitely to show respect for the other cultures that you might be working with in your spiritual practice. Okay. So we got Hecate, the in-between. Okay, so kind of experiencing the liminal here. And Hecate wants to step forward. I've heard it also said Hecate, but I say Hecate, so I'm not sure which is the actual correct pronunciation. I will have to look that up as well. But that is one goddess that wants to step forward for you, pile 3. And let's see who else we have for you. Whoa. Okay. And we have Kuan Yin, compassion. Okay, and that's one thing that I was really, really feeling. Okay, especially with this turn criticism into kindness, you know, is having self-compassion and really having compassion for others. But the more self-compassion that we have, the more that we practice that with ourselves, the easier it is for us to have compassion with other people. And Kuan Yin is a goddess that I actually, that steps forward quite a bit for me in different goddess decks that I have. And her energy is so soft and so beautiful. It's actually perfect for you and for this Queen of Cups pile. Definitely feel that. So yeah, but definitely do your research if you're not familiar with her. And just, yeah, I can't recommend working with her as a goddess enough if you do deity work. So beautiful. So the last cards that we're going to pull are some spell and ritual cards that you can work with. And we're just going to shuffle and see what comes out. And these cards are not easy to shuffle, I'm telling you guys. So just give me a second while I pick them up off the floor. see. We're going to pick 2. What spells, what rituals want to come out for pile 3. Okay, we got 1. Set that there. Okay, and look, you guys, you got Owl again. Okay, so this is a Witch's Familiar card. And let's see. You guys got 3. Okay, so I'm going to take all 3 because that's not... Okay. I'm going to put this one away because that's too many. All right, so Owl, with penetrating and observing eyes, owls are deep creatures that see all and carry the gift of prophecy. So you guys really do... be on the lookout for owls in your waking life, in any imagery that comes up to you in your dream space. You might actually collect owls, but yeah, that's one of your familiar type animals. These night birds, a symbol of the wisdom of ages, accompanied Athena, Greek goddess of knowledge. When the owl appears, hidden information, messages, and lessons will soon be revealed. While pursuing higher knowledge, carry an owl image, talisman, or found feather when you need to go deeper to learn, explore, and understand that which intimidates you. Okay, so, I mean, if you're exploring your emotions and really going deep and it does feel intimidating, that is something as well. The owl talisman, you know, carry an image of an owl or a found feather, something like that, you know, and it will help you go even deeper into that. Let's see what else we have for you. All right, we have lodestone. Lodestone is a magnetic stone used to amplify any spell or attract good fortune. So it says carry a pair of lodestones in a pouch. Feed, they put that in quotation marks, feed them regularly with a few sprinkles of iron filings and charge them by placing them on top of a pentagram on your altar during the full moon. Chant the following. I am as magnetic as this lucky lodestone and attract all I need to manifest, succeed, and thrive. I see only opportunity, full glasses, and a cornucopia of riches at my table, okay? And you guys got prosperity. Grateful am I to receive the bounty of the universe. So mote it be. So this card, again, it says abundance and good fortune at the bottom. And I'll go ahead and put that under the camera so that if you want to screenshot it, you can. And, you know, the way I feel about ritual is that we can work it the way that it works for us. So if this seems overwhelming, you don't have to follow it to the letter. It's just, you know, these are the rituals that come out, and, you know, your spells can be as, you know, tailored to you. They don't have to be elaborate, as tailored to you as you want them to be. And okay, so you have another deity here, Epona. Epona is a Celtic and Roman patron goddess of horses and the cavalry, as well as fertility, victory, and freedom. Invoke Epona's magic to birth new ideas or release fears and inhibitions. Okay. Go where horses roam and spend time around them, saddling up and allowing yourself to become one with this majestic creature. Find a very old horseshoe and place it on your altar during the Sagittarius moon or full moon. Repeat Epona's name many times, imagining yourself full of unbridled possibilities. Hang the horseshoe in a U orientation above your door or altar. Receive all Epona has to offer. And this says at the bottom, fires of passion and creativity. And you're getting a lot of like joy and rejoicing. So, I mean, that doesn't necessarily mean that you have to follow that to the letter. But some things that I get from that is that, you know, Epona is Epona, I'm going to look that up too, because I practice what I preach, is another goddess that is stepping forward to be with you on your journey. And then you might want to do some ritual work. It doesn't have to be exactly what they say around the Sagittarius moon or the Sagittarius full moon, you know, but any Sagittarius moon. And then as well, since they're talking about horses, horses might be another familiar or animal that comes to you in imagery that kind of sends you signs, is something that I am getting from that. So you're free to interpret any of this as you will, because I am a very eclectic witch, and my practice is, you know, I I kind of have to improvise in ways, you know, we all do, because not all of us have infinite amounts of money, or, you know, some of us are newer to the practice. And we just have to work it the way that works for us, right? So just take those things with a grain of salt. They're just, you know, rituals that come from a deck. But with that, we're going to go ahead and close and leave it here. That's all I'm seeing for you, pile 3. But make sure to leave a comment letting me know what pile you picked and how it resonated for you. I want to thank you so much for your presence, your time, and your energy. That's truly where the magic happens. Thank you to all the collective guides and angels for these wonderful messages. A special thank you to the Queen of Cups for stepping forward with this beautiful reading. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share this channel with folks who could benefit from the messages. And while you're at it, hit the notification bell so you don't miss any of my future videos. Stay safe, be gentle with yourselves, and I will see you again soon, okay? Bye, pile 3. Take care. Hello, pile 4, and welcome to your reading. So this is for the pile that picked the clear quartz, right? And let's jump right in and see which queen is stepping forward with a message for you. And you got the Queen of Swords. Beautiful. Okay, and instantly what I can see from the Queen of Swords being the messenger for you, the one that wants to help you during this time and really shepherd you, is that she's asking you to really get in touch with your truth. The Queen of Swords is ruled by the sign Libra. And that also corresponds with the Justice card in tarot. So this card is, all the queens are ruled by water, and this is a water and air card. So it's also, you know, communicating from a place that is really sacred to you, and that is really in touch with your heart space. So, you know, there's an element of understanding cause and effect, and really being able to cut through all of the noise, you know, that's related to situations, and truly understanding things at their essence, and truly understanding yourself as an essence, at your essence, excuse me, at the core. But it's really beautiful. You know, I can see, if you're, you know, developing your psychic abilities, there could be a leveling up of clairaudience. I know that usually clairvoyance is not related to air, but I can see definitely with the theme of understanding that there is a level of clear seeing, and with the clear hearing, clairaudience. So, you know, those might be things that you may not even see yet, or you might understand that are on your path, but you know, that may not apply to everybody, but those things might be kind of coming up as themes for you, where, you know, you hear ringing in your ears, and you pay attention to certain things, or you know, like for me, I have synesthesia, and I was kind of figuring out that sometimes even in these videos, when I say this is what I'm hearing, it's like I hear things with my felt sense. And I know that that kind of sounds like it doesn't make sense, but it's like I feel my thoughts, or I feel thoughts that maybe my guides are trying to implant. And that feels very Queen of Swords. So if you resonate with that, let me know in the comments. But yeah, it's like the Queen of Swords is here to help you develop your truth, and really hone your truth, and hone a sense of clarity, of purpose, really is another sense that I'm getting. So let's go ahead and look at the question that the Queen of Swords is posing to you. Okay, and you got card 22. That's a master number. And it says, this is not your practical life. Decide. Okay, decision. That is very Queen of Swords. What is your inner voice telling you about the dream in your heart? Okay, I was feeling some life purpose things. So yeah, she is here to put you on your path. I was really, really getting that sense. So even though this says this is not your practical life, if you've been living a really mundane life and you're feeling like there's something more out there for me, this can't be it, you know, and really going over that in your head, and really trying to connect to your heart space of like, what is it that I see for myself? What is it that I truly want for myself? That's a message from the Queen of Swords, where it's like she's really trying to align you with a more spiritual purpose. You have card 22 here. And that's a double 2. That's double High Priestess energy, but it also reduces down to a 4 with the Emperor. So she's trying to really set a solid foundation for you, and a foundation that's really connected to your intuition, your intuitive understanding of what you know to be true about yourself and true about your unique path, and your inner voice. Inner voice is so Queen of Swords to me, because swords are communication, and you know, our voice, and water really does speak to our deep inner life. So yeah, she's really trying to get you in touch with your heart and your inner voice to really cultivate that authentic truth for you. So that is beautiful, pile 4. I love that a lot. The first tarot card that we're going to look at is what major theme is coming up in your life that requires you to harness your inner witch. Let's see what the Queen of Swords has to say. Okay, the Lovers. That's, yeah, it's like calling you into union. And it doesn't necessarily have to be in a romantic sense. It could really be in union. And this theme is coming up a lot in all of these readings, of really finding the people that reflect what it is that you want to see for your life. So that could be, you know, if you are identifying with the term witch on the most, you know, traditional level, that is finding your coven, or, you know, even if it's just, you know, being a revolutionary or trying to find some kind of progressive cause, like finding your social circle that reflects your values, that reflects what your inner voice is telling you about, you know, what your heart is really wanting you to, you know, align your path with. You know, because what this card says is love, harmony, and union. And the thing with the Queen of Swords, like I love this deck because it does have keywords that I actually like. Some decks don't necessarily have keywords that I do like, but love can mean many things, even though in this card there is a man and a woman embracing each other. But love is an all-encompassing thing. Love can be the environment, you know, that is reflected back to you, right? Because the Lover's card is the sacred mirror. So it's like, is your environment reflecting what your inner voice is telling you about, you know, what it is that you want for your future, what you want in your waking life? Are your friendships reflecting that? What is your truth? What ambitions are you reaching for? Because you can. And the important thing is to be in harmony, not only with other people, but in harmony with your higher self, with this double 2 energy. The High Priestess is very related to the higher self. So the fact that there is a double, you know, a 22 here is like a real calling to get in alignment with your higher self, and be in union and be of one mind with her or him, or however you identify them, your higher self. And as well, you know, have that reflected back to you in your waking life. And that's going to really require, just like it says, for you to make some decisions. And the Queen of Swords is the perfect support for that, because she can help you cut through a lot of the noise, a lot of the, you know, the mental chatter that goes on, that can help us talk us out of some things that are really good for us, you know, because when we're in a period of expansion, it can feel really scary, right? We want to run back to what's familiar. And the, you know, the goal is really to allow the process to open us up, you know, to crack us open, and, you know, to move towards what it is that, you know, we're meant to do and meant to be. You know, and that process isn't easy. There's lots of discomfort that comes with that, but there's infinite, abundant harmony and love and joy that can come from it too. Beyond the discomfort, I want to say there's more joy, but sometimes the feelings of discomfort, or the fear, the thoughts, you know, that come along, they get magnified, because, you know, it's easier to pay attention to the negative than the positive. But that's why the Queen of Swords is here, to kind of bolster you. So that's really awesome. So the next card that we're going to look at is, what wisdom does the Queen want to impart to you about this time in your life? So let's see what the wisdom the Queen of Swords has. Okay, and you got the Wheel of Fortune in reverse. Okay, and what this really says to me is she's posing a question for you. Just like I said, this has a connection to your life purpose. It's almost like this is your destiny, but are you going to take the reins and really move towards it? Or are you going to maintain the status quo in your life? Are you going to ignore the wheel that's turning and, try to fight against this new cycle that's coming? Or are you going to flow with nature? Because the Wheel of Fortune in the upright is, it's ruled by Jupiter. And Jupiter is an energy that expands what's there. But right now, what's being expanded for you is a period of harmony, of moving towards harmony in relationships and, in your everyday life. Excuse me, I was getting a little tickle in my throat. And, not living from such a place of such, mundane practicality, if that's, something that you're used to, but it's not really what your soul is calling you to. If it feels like, you're called to more, you're called to, you work in a, 9 to 5, and there's nothing wrong with that. But, there's something that is really, lights your soul up, and it doesn't matter if it's like a 5 to 9 where it's like you're working all the time. It doesn't feel like work, but it's not something that, the people that surround you now would feel is practical, or they would be like, why do you want to do that? It doesn't make much sense, on paper, but it is your calling, it's your destiny. And it's like you're meant to flow with that cycle. And the Wheel of Fortune upright is really flowing with that and learning how to stay in your center, because the wheel does turn in our favor in the upright. And it is kind of a signal that the wheel is turning in your favor. But not all turns of the wheel are joyful. Sometimes we have to be able to ride out those bumps in the road where, the wheel is all about chance. And sometimes we hit streaks and runs of good luck. And other times, it's not so good. But the point with this Lover's card being what's coming in this major theme in your life is finding the people that will ride for you and be there for you, just like you would be there for them in the times that are good and the times that are not so good. Because if you've ever found yourself saying like, you weren't there for me when things were bad, don't try to be there for me now when things are good, then that's not the kind of relationship that's reflecting a true sense of harmony and union. That's fair weather relationships. And I want to say, if that's what you've had, historically, pile 4, you deserve better than that. We all deserve better than that. We deserve equal give and take in relationships, which the Lovers is card 6. And 6s are all about equal give and take. The major arcana card of the Lovers and all of the 6s in the minor arcana are about equal give and take in relationships, in any aspect of life. So this Wheel of Fortune, the Queen really does want to impart the wisdom of not fighting against your destiny. If there is a soul calling, something that your inner voice is really telling you, not to ignore it, because it's not like it's just going to go away if you're trying to will it away. You can try to fight fate and fight destiny as much as you want to, but it will kind of resurface in different ways. And, you might make the road harder for yourself in the long run, or, you might delay a really great time in your life by trying to fight against the cycle. And that doesn't mean you have to make any rash decisions. The Queen of Swords is very, very wise and, doesn't make rash decisions, but also understands that, to connect with the heart and really move with the timing that's right. So you'll understand and you'll know when the time is right, but don't be in resistance is what I'm getting from the Queen of Swords, the advice that she wants to give you. And now let's look with this next card at how the Queen of Swords wants to help you on this journey. Okay, and you got the Magician. So yeah, she is trying to make sure that you have everything you need. And she's trying to remind you of all the tools that you have at your disposal, about how much personal power that you have. The Magician is a card that's ruled by Mercury. So that's another indicator that your voice is powerful, Mercury is not only the voice, but it's also the mind. So it's like what you think of as well. Like your thoughts are sound. You know, your inner voice is sound. You actually have a lot of Mercury-like cards because the Lovers is also ruled by Gemini, which is ruled by Mercury. So that's a big understanding of the fact that like your voice, you know, with Gemini, it's really, you know, spoken, it's air. Libra is more air. Jupiter is really trying to expand that wisdom and that, you know, inner voice, that sense of communication. And then Mercury is both aspects of that. It's, you know, it's the air and the earth. It's Gemini and Virgo. So action and practicality, practical action that really leads you to, you know, your goals. But all elements here, the elements of earth, air, water, and fire are present for you. And you have skills, talents, and abilities that you may not have even tapped into. The entirety of what you're capable of is what I'm seeing with this magician. But the magician is all about taking action, right? It's card number 1. So you have double 2 energy here with High Priestess energy that reduces down to a 4 and gives you a foundation. But then you also have 1 here that's calling for action and movement. Excuse me. And, you know, it's ruled by Mercury that's asking you to make decisions that move you forward with this Wheel of Fortune. So that is really, really important for you, is really use the power of your mind and keep wise counsel as well with this Lovers card. That you don't have to kind of go it alone, because if she was asking you to kind of make all these decisions by yourself, the Lovers card wouldn't be here. That you can find safe people who you can trust. And if you have those people now, that's wonderful. But if not, the Queen of Swords is saying, you know, this theme is coming up for you, and it's probably already present, because at the time of this recording, even though this reading is timeless, it's 2022, and we're in a Lover's year where we're all looking for community and that sense of where we belong. So if you're not, if you're seeking that community, they're also seeking you, and you can find that. Just use your willpower and your take action towards looking for those people that can really bolster you and help you. But definitely don't try to go it alone, because that also will kind of backfire, or not necessarily in a punishing way. It just won't get you as far as you want to go, and as far as the Queen of Swords wants you to go, because you really are, you know, on your path to being this really like powerful mind witch. You know, I can see all of the air cards, all the air signs here, Gemini, Libra, and Aquarius. So, you know, Libra is very relational. Gemini communicates messages, and Aquarius is the sign of the social consciousness, the collective. So it could be really big collective work that you're doing, like mutual aid type work. I can see too with this Lovers card. But witches are revolutionary, and I can see this pile being the ones that are doing some kind of revolutionary type work. And that's why I was getting the sense of like not doing a 9 to 5 necessarily, but a 5 to 9, where it's like, you know, it doesn't matter what the hours are or how long it is you're working. You're part of a bigger ecosystem where it doesn't feel like work. So, you know, it's like you might be, you know, doing things here and there, you know, and it might be scattered throughout your day, but it doesn't feel like a job, you know, but it's also bringing you so much joy, so much fulfillment, you know, and it aligns with your personal truth. And it's like the things that you do in your everyday that don't align anymore, they're naturally just going to fall away. Like it's not going to work anymore for you. So this last card is what advice the Queen of Swords has for you about channeling your own inner Queen of Swords, because we all have these queens. All of the court cards live within us as parts. So as within, so without. That's something that the magician teaches: as above, so below, as within, so without. And you have a card of the witch, like the magician in some decks that I have that are more modern are called the witch. But it's like channeling your very own Queen of Swords that lives within you. So let's go ahead and take a look at that. And we have the 7 of Cups. So yeah, this is a card of choice. And just like I was saying, you'll have many options on the table, and there will be, that's what I was feeling like, you know, the work that you do, even if it's not like traditional work, but it's like your life's work will involve many things, and disparate things, but it will all kind of, you know, where is it that, let me feel into this card. It's like, how I was saying, the Queen of Swords is air and water, and this is a water card, and sevens are all about wisdom and discernment. It's like, you'll have many choices, and at that time, like, you know, with all this Mercury energy, you'll be able to discern like what is right for you and what's not. And you won't have to go to any super extremes. That's something that's on this card, is like, you don't have to choose it all at one time. But you'll be on your path. Like, you'll understand the right thing that's on your path. You'll feel it and you'll know it with this Wheel of Fortune energy. Like, at this time, you know, maybe the cup with the fire is right for me and the cup with the snake isn't. And then maybe like in 6 months, the cup with the snake, you know, I look at that as a need for real transformation. Like, that will be another choice that you can, you know, choose for yourself. But it's like your inner voice is going to guide you towards the work that you do or the paths that you take. And it's going to be reflected in all aspects of your life. So it's like harnessing your inner queen is not limiting yourself, and really allowing yourself to move from that inner voice that is passionate, allowing your inner high priestess to speak to you, allowing, you know, your inner magician to really take action towards the things that, you know, you love and that bring you into a sense of, you know, inner peace and harmony. So, you know, that is how you channel your Queen of Swords. And, you know, it's like you will find that sense of your personal truth, you know, with each cycle, you know, if you turn this Wheel of Fortune upright. And actually that's what I'm going to do right now, because I feel like that's what the Queen of Swords wants for you, is to move with the cycles towards your destiny and to really move from a place of alchemizing the heart and mind, like moving, you know, blending those two. And that is very, you know, witch-like. That is witch work, is really blending two disparate energies, like bringing them together and making them flow. So that is very, very important. Is like your life path is all that this is about, bringing you closer to your destiny. So now that we've done the tarot cards, what we're going to do is we're going to go deep with some oracle cards. So like I told one of the other piles, go ahead and grab yourself a snuggly blanket or a warm drink or something, but we're going to get we're going to go deep with some oracle cards. So let's see what they have to say. What else? What other messages does Spirit and the Queen of Swords have for pile 4? Okay, Labyrinth. Transition to a higher level of being, raising your energetic vibration, enlightenment. Okay, so yeah, you are, this kind of reminds me, even though it's a circular, okay, yeah, this labyrinth is circular. It's like you're on a cycle that like brings you closer and closer to your center, which is the truth, you know, where this cross is, you know, but it's gonna take, you know, different paths. It's gonna, you know, you're gonna have to take different paths, and maybe like one won't work and you'll, you know, come back around and take a new path and make lots of different choices, but everything's going to bring you closer to where it is that you want to be. And then we have Goddess, healing your feminine energy. And we all have feminine energy. So whether you are male, female, gender non-binary, it doesn't matter. You know, the Goddess energy, the divine feminine is available to all of us. It's that divine receptivity. And you have the High Priestess, double High Priestess energy here. And, you know, a lot of like Lover's energy. You have Cups energy here. So it's all about, yeah, receptivity and learning how to receive and receive messages too. So one other thing that I'm getting with this healing feminine energy is trusting your inner voice, but also trusting your ability to receive messages from the universe, especially you know, with this magician energy and the witch energy, because one of the tools that the magician has is air, you know, is the sword. And swords can cut both ways. They can either, you know, they can hurt us or they can help us. But the goal is for you to use your mind to really aid you on your path. So let's see what else we got. We got little luxuries. Generates luxuries, experiences, and surroundings. Okay, so just like I said with the Lovers card, you know, your surroundings are also a reflection of the divine within you, and what it is that you want to seek out is what is a reflection of the divine within you, of the best parts of yourself. And also understanding that you do deserve good things in life, the little things, the little luxuries. If you're not used to having those things because, you know, you're so focused on practicality, get used to, you know, living a life that has a little bit more of, you know, those little nice things that, you know, you're not used to giving yourself or allowing yourself. Like, who am I to deserve that? Of course, we all deserve nice things, and it doesn't have to even be super elaborate. It says little luxuries. They can be elaborate too, you know. I like nice things, so it's like it can be whatever you want it to, babes. Okay. All right, let's get some more oracle wisdom. Oracle wisdom does the Queen of Swords have for pile 4? Show me clearly, please. Okay, you guys got 2. All right, winter, the sacredness of pausing. So yeah, the Queen of Swords, this is the energy of reflection, of really thinking deeply, especially with this card that says, what is your inner voice telling you about the dream in your heart? The sacredness of pausing is really taking time to go within, go deeply within. And sometimes that can be difficult, and it looks different for all of us. It doesn't have to be some super elaborate meditation practice, but, you know, just everyday mindfulness of, you know, where is it that I can see myself being? What is it that I'm truly wanting, you know, in my life? So, you know, just ask yourself those little questions each day. And it's really important that you do that. And the winter time is the time that things die off so that things can be born anew. And wasn't I saying something about this cup with the snake? That might be one of the choices that you make, you know, because each of these cups are a choice of, you know, what is it that I'm ready to shed, you know, or is ready to die off so that it can be, you know, I can be reborn in, you know, another cycle, you know, with this Wheel of Fortune that's all about cycles. And winter might be a time that's particularly important to you to do some of this witch work. You know, the solstices, winter solstice, Yule might be very important for you. Aquarius season, since we're talking about the Queen of Swords and that being the air sign that comes in the middle of winter. So all things to consider. And then we have Skull of Stars, infinite possibilities. So yeah, don't limit yourself. There are so many possibilities of what it is that you could be. Just like with the 7 of Cups, you have so many choices that you don't have to limit yourself to any one thing. You can do so many things, pile 4, and you might have more than one destiny, more than one soul calling to fulfill, you know, but just follow your heart and really align that with what, you know, your inner voice is telling you, and you can't go wrong. You really can't go wrong. Okay, so let's see what else we have for you. Oh, you know what? I'm going to take this deck first. What other wisdom do we have for pile 4 about their harnessing their inner witch, inner Queen of Swords? Okay, let's see. Selene, bring light into someone's dark sky. Okay, so that really could be, you know, you have this double high priestess energy. Selene is the goddess of the moon. So the moon might be very, very important for you to work with. You know, this goddess energy, it might really be calling you to do goddess work. And I am going to pull some more goddesses, but We haven't gotten there, and already there's a goddess that has stepped forward to work with you, Celine. So, you know, moon magic might be very, very important for you. Paying attention to, with this Wheel of Fortune, it's about cycles, paying attention to cycles of the moon, but bring light into somebody's dark sky. That could be the lovers, where you're doing that for someone and they're reciprocating and doing that for you. And that you're really in connection with other people, other, you know, folks that do or don't identify as witches. It's, you know, it can mean so many things. Let's see what other, oh, there we go. Okay. I just said moon rituals, and here we go. Spells and rituals. Bring magic and self-care together. Yes, so make it a part of your routine. And where did I get that from? I was talking about during the winter, and yeah, really with this magician as well. The magician, you know, is the card of the witch, but yeah, this is really calling you with doing goddess work, working with goddesses, working with the moon, doing different rituals. And they don't have to be elaborate. They can be whatever you make it. Your practice is yours. I'm going to pull some spells, and some of the spells in the deck or rituals are kind of elaborate, but they're just a jumping off point. I make mine very simple, and you can simplify in any way that feels right to you. So I just wanted to go ahead and preface that before I even pull those cards, but those will be the last ones I pull anyway. Let's see what else we have here. All right, and we got affirmation for growth. Okay, so I was talking about mindfulness. Yeah, so meditation doesn't have to be the thing. You can do affirmations and mindfulness statements. That's very Queen of Swords like. And that can be something that is part of your rituals. Like what we say, our words are spells. So it's like for what you want to see grow, you know, write those affirmations down or say them out loud if you feel comfortable doing that. You know, and if you don't feel comfortable saying them out loud yet, you know, kind of build towards that. You know, it doesn't all have to be everything at one time. You know, you can grow with these cycles, with this labyrinth, you know, one step at a time. It's like, how do you eat an elephant? One bite at a time, right? All right, what else do we have for pile 4 about harnessing their inner witch? Yeah, but your practice is going to grow, and it's going to really involve touching a lot of people with this Lover's card. And you are a light. You're going to light up a lot of people's lives at a time where they might be experiencing some real hardship. And maybe that's where this winter comes in too, because, you know, the winter is a very harsh period. And it's like maybe in reflecting on the difficult times that you've had and that you've been through, it's like you're a reflection of to other people of how you've come through it. And you're like a light in the dark, very 8th house, you know. Okay, let's see what else we got. Meditation for peace and serenity. Okay, so, you know, meditation and whatever that looks like, but for a sense of inner peace, tranquility, serenity. Yeah, that you're going to need that, because some of these practices are going to feel new. They're going to feel very maybe uncomfortable in the beginning is what I'm getting. So it's like you're going to have to surround yourself with things that, you know, even with this luxuries card, I think of things that are familiar and that bring you a sense of comfort. You know, when you're doing something different, it's nice to have little tokens of the familiar with you. So like if you're really trying to do a meditation practice and it feels hard, you know, don't push yourself into anything that brings up anxiety or, you know, trauma. If, you know, you need to do like a walking meditation or alternative forms of meditation, really look into that. But do it in a way that brings you peace and serenity. So if it's bringing up anxiety, instantly, that's the Queen of Swords giving you some feedback that that's probably not the way to go about it for you, but that some form of meditation, affirmation needs to be part of your ritual work. Okay. So don't neglect that piece, because it's showing up for you because it's very important. And maybe ask the goddesses that step forward to help you with this. So Celine has already stepped forward. Let's see what other cards we have for you. Believing in your magic. All right, up, look, witch. Literally, you got the magician here. Yes, witch, justice is coming. And didn't I say the Queen of Swords is related to the Justice card? So you might be doing some serious justice work, bringing light into someone's dark sky, that you have infinite possibilities in the way that this work might show up. But yeah, that's really, really aligned. You are the revolutionary type witch. I really, really feel that strongly. Okay, and Lioness, you've earned all your stripes. And this is card 13. It also reduces down to a 4, but card 13 is the Death card in the Major Arcana. So yeah, big transformational energy, big, you know, moving through the cycles energy, but also helping other people do that. You also got, you know, card 27, which reduces down to a 9, which is the Hermit, also ruled by Mercury with this Magician energy. So, you know, big, like, mind vibes, like hella, like crazy smart, like, sorry, did I say crazy? Wildly smart. I apologize. I'm really, like, I don't even like that word, and I find myself saying it lately, and I don't know if I'm getting it from like TV or whatever, but please forgive me. But yeah, Lioness, you've been through some shit. You've seen some shit, and you've earned all your stripes. And I just love that this deck, it's Believe in Your Own Magic. It highlights, you know, different body types, but you know, you've earned all your stripes, and how she has, like, you know, she's full, she's beautiful, you know, and she has her stretch marks. Hell, I got stretch marks. I got babies. I had stretch marks before I even had babies, but it's like everything that you've been through, you have earned, you know, those lessons. Like, they were hard come by with this winter, the sacredness of pausing, like that winter time where it felt, you know, very hard and frozen and things were dying off, could have felt seriously uncomfortable, but you've earned so much wisdom from everything that you've overcome. And you're not meant to live small. You're not meant to live some mundane life, that, you know, those lessons are meant to be shared with the world, right? The lovers, that's really sharing and, you know, receiving back. So you're meant to receive from the universe and receive from people, but your voice is too powerful to keep things to yourself, like to keep all this wisdom and, you know, the things that your heart you've experienced, and, you know, your inner voice, like to keep that inner voice buried inside of you. It's almost like you'd be robbing the mankind of your special gift, and the Queen of Swords isn't having it. She's like, no, I am not having it, pile 4. Okay, so let's take a look at some self-care, because we can all use some self-care on our journeys. Okay, just like the Wheel of Fortune, look at that. Let go of control and relax into flow. You're meant to flow into these transitions of these cycles. Get into flow in your rituals. So don't be so by the book. If you feel intimidated by getting into different rituals and practices, just like I said earlier, you can make them your own. You don't have to, it doesn't have to look like anybody else's. You know, you can write the rules for yourself. There are some basic rules. I will preface that, especially when we're talking about protection. But, you know, you can call in your guides for protection as well. But as far as, you know, if there are spells that have elaborate ingredients or like tons of steps, or, you know, there's some rules that seem kind of gatekeeping, and I've talked about that before, like especially if you're neurodivergent, or, you know, you don't have certain supplies, or, you know, your socioeconomic status, like the amount of money you have, you can't afford supplies to, you know, make certain spells happen. All of that is bullshit, and throw it out. Like, you can make anything happen because you're the magic. Nothing happens without you being the magic. So I'm gonna step down off of my high horse and my pedestal, you know, now, but I just have to like drive that home, because there's so many people, and for so long I felt locked out of my practice because I felt like I had to do things by the book, and, you know, how many years I wasted on my path by, you know, thinking that I couldn't do it right, or, you know, I would be doing it wrong. All right. And you also got forgive someone. So I'm going to say, like I say, anytime that I pick a card that says something about forgiveness, forgiveness is your choice. You don't have to forgive anybody that has traumatized you, that has betrayed you, that has hurt your heart so deeply that you really can't forgive them. This is more, you can find ways to forgive yourself. If there are ways that you blame yourself in, relationships in the past or situations in the past, if you felt like you abandoned yourself or, you didn't show up for yourself in the way that you needed to, go ahead and put these cards to the side. But, there's a term called cheap forgiveness. And it's like, all it does really is, give people a pass for bad behavior. It really doesn't do anything for us. And, it's not genuine anyway. You don't ever have to forgive someone. You can come to a place of acceptance for what happened, for the situation, for what someone did, and move on. But, this forgive someone, it could really just be, if you could find it in your heart, to forgive someone as a way of like setting yourself free. If you find that that's genuinely in alignment with this Queen of Swords, with your truth, then by all means, that's a beautiful thing. But that's a choice that you get to make. And the Lover's card in past decks, in the earliest decks, used to be called choice. And you also have the Seven of Cups here. And the Seven of Cups can also speak to illusions. So you don't have to have any illusions about people, or rewrite history in order to like make it so that you can forgive someone who has done you really dirty, or, if there are systems that have really oppressed you and you don't feel like they deserve your forgiveness, you don't have to forgive shit. Okay, that's coming from me, and there are many people in my camp that agree with that. You don't have to forgive shit. You can accept things for the way they are. You can hex the shit out of people, like do it safely. If you can't get over it and they have wounded you so badly, there is a way to ethically hex people, and I will link in the description box for you guys a class that I just took on ethical hexing by the Half-Ass Witch on Instagram. But it was a really, really insightful class, because sometimes when we think about like just turn the other cheek or just forgive someone, it is really, it's not helpful to us. Sometimes it's just enabling abuse. So I don't know where all that came from, but my guides were kind of putting that in my ear to say that, like somebody needed to hear that. So, that's really important. So that forgiveness could really be just self-forgiveness. And I think another pile had a similar theme that came up. So let's look at what goddesses want to step forward on your journey and help you and walk with you. So one thing I want to say before I pull any goddess cards is that there are plenty of goddesses in this deck that are from marginalized cultures. And I just want to say, especially if you are of the dominant culture, do your research. It doesn't mean that you can't work with a deity that is not of your lineage. It just means like we want to be mindful and respectful of the culture and of the goddess herself. I mean, we should do this anyway with any goddess that we work with, to read up and research about them and, their story. But I just felt it was really important to say that to all the piles, that we want to make sure that we're giving the proper reverence to these goddesses that are stepping forward to help us on our journey. So, just be mindful of that, and I think it's a really important part of our work as witches. So let's see. Okay, so Saraswati, mastery. Okay, and this is another double 4. So that's double Emperor energy, really putting you on a solid foundation, but it also reduces down to 8. So living from your authenticity, but a sense of mastery. When I think of mastery, I really think of the 8 of Pentacles, which is also ruled by Virgo. But yeah, really mastering your practice and your rituals and, getting into real flow with your practice. So Saraswati is stepping forward as a goddess that wants to work with you. Let's see. And you've already got Selene here, goddess of the moon, to help you do moon ritual work. Let's see. Let's get one more. All right, and we have Ghrian. I'm going to have to look that up for the proper pronunciation. I practice what I preach. Time. So yes, and you see how this mirrors the winter card, but I look at that too as the cycles with the Wheel of Fortune, that really working with the cycles of time, and that could really speak to working with you know, the moon and the cycles of the moon. So, you know, looking at the phases of the moon for your manifestations and your spells, to see them grow. There are infinite possibilities in the way that that will work for you. But really, yeah, she's stepping forward to help you. And then also, of course, you can always call on the archetype of the Queen of Swords, because just like the Magician, as within, so without, the Queen of Swords energy is available in the universe, and she is here as well to be a support to you. So we have Saraswati, Arianhad, and Selene, and I am really going to look up how to pronounce that correctly. All right, so the last cards that we have for you are some, this is a spells deck, and not every single one of them is a spell. Some of them are rituals, some of them are just, you know, information about familiars and stuff, but let's just see what comes out for you, Pile 4. Okay, the first card we got is Sappho, and look how similar that looks to, it looks like the Aquarius symbol, almost like upside down. And it says bonds of love, and we got the Lovers card here. So it says this is another, you know, goddess. Okay, so you got 4 goddesses here. Greek goddess and famed patron of same-sex love, Sappho, dwells on the island of Lesbos, writing poetry that is meant to be sung and accompanied by a lyre. Okay, Queen of Swords. That is, you know, swords rule poetry as well. So that could be something that the Queen of Swords is asking you to, you know, maybe with affirmation, maybe your rituals can include poetry or writing, especially we've got all this Mercury energy. Okay, it says her love magic is a sensual, full-bodied love that includes creative stimulation. Who or what are you infatuated with? During the waxing moon, okay, moon cycles, call on, excuse me, where was I? During the waxing moon, call on Sappho to help you pen and fully realize your thoughts. Okay, so writing things down, fantasies, fears, and passionate desires. Write a letter to bring clarity to a situation, to send to a potential lover, or to burn as an offering to release one from love's pain. Okay, so maybe that goes along with the forgive someone. It's kind of like releasing that for you. Yeah, but there we go with Sappho. And I'll hold that up so you can see. Okay. Let's see what else we get. We'll pull one more. This one seemed like it wanted to jump. I'm gonna take that. Okay, scrying, perfect. Okay, and here I have my crystal ball right here. So, all right, scrying, a black mirror, a pool of water, and a crystal ball are ancient tools used for scrying or divination. During the dark moon or Samhain, cast a circle and quietly gaze into your scrying object. Chant, scrying tool, reveal profound truth and inner wisdom from all that seems mysterious. Shrouded in velvet veils. May all answers be reflected within this sacred tool. So mote it be. Some witches see things appear in the reflection, have prophetic dreams at night, or experience light bulb moments when least expected after scrying. And it says intuitive awareness at the bottom. So I'm going to hold that up so that if you want to screenshot it, you can. But yeah, that's a wonderful tool for divination. And I'm still learning how to use mine because I got it for Christmas and I'm still fairly new to it. But I do find that it helps to look at it while I'm reading tarot. So if you're a tarot reader or you work with tarot as well, you know, you don't even have to have a crystal ball like it says. You can use a bowl of water, yeah, and look into it to divine, and it just kind of gives you an area to focus on. So that's really beautiful. But this really does speak to doing some big witch work. Like, you guys will be this pile, and I can't remember which other pile, but there was another pile that I felt like were really going to be like traditional practitioners of the craft, and actually doing like actual spells, rituals, like creating a daily practice, or, you know, like a practice that is around the cycles, you know, and around the Sabbats. So that is really, really beautiful, pile 4. And that's all I'm seeing for you. So make sure to leave a comment letting me know what pile you picked and how it resonated for you. I want to thank you for your presence, your time, and your energy. That's truly where the magic happens. And thank you to all the collective guides and angels for these wonderful messages. And a very special thank you to the Queen of Swords for stepping forward with this beautiful reading today. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share this channel with folks who could benefit from the messages. And while you're at it, hit the notification bell so you don't miss any of my future videos. Stay safe, be gentle with yourselves, and I'll see you again soon, okay? Bye, Pile 4. Take care.